Hello, everyone. Welcome to Drinks and Discussions. I am your host, Brian, alongside a panel of esteemed panelists tonight. We've got questions. You've got questions. We all want answers. And tonight, we've got a panel that I think is going to be able to provide it. So, in no particular order, tonight we have so far joining us is not Lizard, Liz, Flaky Jake, and we've also got Vic Ferrari and the one and only Angel, Newfound Life, the Misfits New World Order host. Welcome, everyone. Hello and good evening. You're on mute. If you're not talking, if you're talking, you're all on mute, I think.
There we go.
There
What's
we
up,
go.
everyone?
There we go. There we are.
Alrighty. Ready.
Hey, I am going to tell you guys right now that I am going to turn my camera off for a quick second. I forgot a glass to go with my drink. Because I'm going to be making a smoky old fashioned. You probably can't see it in the backdrop, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Cool.
Here we go.
Anybody else got any beverages that they want to talk of note?
Hawaiian punch wouldn't be a beverage. I don't know. Let me not bring up my Hawaiian punch.
You bring up bring up your Hawaiian punch, man. Ain't nothing wrong with a Hawaiian punch.
No, it's okay. No, sorry.
That's a good one, man. That's old school, man.
If I would have got those tomato beers, damn. If I would have, shoot, if you would have told me this earlier, I would have got a tomato beer. I'm allowed. They told me, okay, go for it.
You know what's funny? Okay, I might actually change it up because it's not the smartest decision I've ever made tonight. I actually am in my garage. I'm going to smoke a cigar, and I thought about having a old fashioned, but I think I might have a tomato beer now that you mention it because it might cool me off a little bit more.
Yeah, sounds delicious right now. Damn, I wish I had one.
I like the way you think. Hello, King Corso Mom. How are you? Good to see you out there.
The banana man is out there.
Yep, Ham Banana. Talking about Nick Volt. Come on, man. Did you get a nap tonight? I hope he got a nap. I really do hope he got a nap tonight. So let's go around the panel, see what's going on today. Let's start with the lady in the room. Lakey Jake, how was your day? How's it going? Lakey Jake, that's Liz. You're not talking.
Oh, me? I'm sorry, you were cutting out, so I didn't know you meant me. I just had a really quiet day waiting for the refrigerator repairman on Friday. Still. But in the meantime, my refrigerator is working again.
So all right.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know whether to clean it out or to leave it. So, I just kind of let it sit for right now and see what it's going to do. But yeah, I didn't do anything today. Quiet day. And I'm drinking a latte.
Nothing wrong with a latte. Nothing wrong with a latte. Is my microphone okay? Are you listen? I was cutting in and out.
You're perfect. Perfect.
Okay. Sound good to me.
Okay, good. Okay, cool. Okay, Angel, what's going on today, man? How's your day been?
I'm getting ready to go to Wildwood, New Jersey. There's a theme park over there. It's half water rides and regular roller coaster stuff. So there's Ocean City and Wildwood. So we're deciding to go either one Friday or maybe Thursday night till Sunday morning. That's the schedule. That's what I'm aiming for. So I'll be probably going live one of those days from Wildwood, New Jersey.
Nice. My neighbor came over too, by the way. So I'm actually going to make an old fashioned now. My neighbor came over.
Oh, Liz is in the chat.
Elizabeth. Fernando.
Hi,
Hey, Fernando.
Yeah.
Hello. You know what? I changed the whole background. You guys got to tell me, how does it look back there? How does my background look with the space in the back?
I kind of like it. Yeah,
it's got a little bit more more animation behind it.
I like it. Yeah.
I'm not sure why the stream chat is not showing. I'll try to adjust that as we go. But I thought that the stream, the chat box would actually. Oh, maybe I don't have it on. Maybe that's why. Okay.
Yeah, that would do it, dude.
Okay, maybe it'll come on now. All right, Vic Ferrari. How about you? How was your day?
Yo.
How's it going, buddy?
Oh man, I'm doing good, bro. Today was a pretty mellow day. Yesterday, my boys and I went out to the beach. Tried to beat the heat here a little bit, so that was cool. And we got a little bit sunburn, you know. But the last time I said that, Paul Morrison had to triple down on us with his blistering
Oh my
sunburn.
God! Yes.
It's not a competition, Paul. So don't. Hopefully you're okay. You're okay this time. But no, it was good. You know, we went out. You know, my boys. You know, they're getting to be that age that pretty soon they're not going to want to pal around with old dad. So just trying to make the most of it. Everybody was pretty burnt out today, and then I dropped them over at Mom's, and I just been kind of kicking back, just kind of getting things in order around the house, and you know, waiting for the panel. You know, been looking forward to having this discussion.
Me too. I'm glad you talked about that. I'm gonna change my background a little bit. I am in my garage, so you're just gonna see whatever you're gonna see. I don't care. You're gonna see some shelving, whatever, but I'm gonna put it out there. Yeah, you know what's funny about Paul always trying to triple one up everybody on that blistering sunburn that he got? Man, come on, Paul. It's going to be hard to beat that, by the way. It's going to be really hard to beat that sunburn.
I wouldn't even try, man. Shit. Paul looked like he was on the sun, in the sun.
Right. Was he really red? Like really red?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think he's built for the sun, huh?
Oh man, poor guy, man.
I'm going to tell you guys a story, but I need you guys to kind of talk among yourselves for 2 seconds. I'm going to go grab a glass. Be right back.
Okay. Let's see. Liz is saying to turn for us to turn down a bit.
Turn down Angel? Oh, geez.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems like
Nah, she said just you and Angel.
Really?
Yeah.
I could take Vigo, maybe.
I don't know.
It's already AirPods. Let me see.
So I know it's not a competition, but guess what? The temperature is where I live.
Uh-oh. Over 100?
43.
No.
Nah. It's hot today. It's
43 degrees.
It's 76 degrees today. I'm
Oh, that's lovely.
That's hot weather for here, Angel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's about 95 over here. It's uncomfortable, very sticky. Yeah, so for the most part. Yeah. That's why we're getting away for the weekend because it's just getting every year. It seems that it gets this humidity, and that's almost the sun. I can take the sun, I just can't take the humidity. It's just awful, sticky all day, and you know, you blink and you're sweating. Yeah,
I don't have much of that either. It's we're West Coast, so our humidity's low. Even Vic's is probably low, I would imagine, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we got there's no humidity issues here.
Don't brag about it too. Don't make it feel bad. Yeah.
I mean, we get up to like next week. They're talking about getting to 110, 112 here, so it gets hot where I am. Yeah, but not the humidity. But I was back in Arkansas and Nebraska were the two most humid places that I ever spent any significant time in.
Nebraska? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
When I think Nebraska, I don't think humidity for some reason.
Yeah, they're landlocked. There's no water, so you'd think their humidity would be low, right?
No, we went in the middle of the summer to the zoo, and I was literally wringing out my shirt, and it was only, I'll say mid 80s at the most.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Arkansas affected me more though. Arkansas was actually having a little trouble. I wouldn't say breathing, but I just had to sit down and take it easy a couple times in Arkansas.
But the heat?
Yeah, humidity mostly. Yeah.
we're not on the Pacific Coast. I don't think I could ever leave the Pacific Coast because I don't think I could ever adjust to the humidity the rest of the country has. Honestly, I don't.
I mean, I have a house in Puerto Rico. No, nothing big. It's just a little house that my father wants me to take over, basically. But first of all, the doctors in Puerto Rico, God bless them, they're not that good. They're not that well equipped, and it's a possibility that I just they won't be able to take care of me over in Puerto Rico. So, and I like my 3 seasons. I miss my springs, and when I lived in Puerto Rico for a number of years, and I couldn't get used to it. I'm just one of those things. I need, it's 95 tropical weather year round. I don't know how people could do it. I really can't. They're walking around smiling. I'm over here. Well, why are you smiling? You should be in a bad mood.
But you know what's funny? I prefer it to be hot than cold.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like cold weather at all. At all.
I mean, temporary. If it's just a few months, I can, sustain it. You know what I mean? Withstand a little bit of cold, but not all year round either. That's another. Yeah, I don't think I.
What the heck's going on, man?
What are you doing?
I'm making.
I was about to porn bomb himself.
I'm making my old fashioned. I'm making the old fashioned.
You scared me, Brian. Like, what are you doing here?
Look, you think I'm Logan or somebody? Come on, give me a break.
I'm like, Vic, I said, what are you going to stir that with?
What is going on here?
What's going on here?
And so I put some orange bitters in there, of course, but then this is actually something somebody introduced me into, and this is like the aromatic bitters, and it really gives it a different taste when you make your old fashioned. And I am going to light it on fire just for Liz. I know she enjoys. She enjoys fire. That's a little jokey joke there. Okay, so I take that, and that is about all I need to put in there. And by the way, for tonight, I'm actually using Maker's Mark as my whiskey of choice. It's a good. It's a good whiskey to mix with your old fashions. And in case I get any type of hello, Jay, anonymous, hello, Deanna, in the chat. In case I get any sponsorships, this is actually made by Foghat. Foghat Cocktail Smoker. It's one of the easiest ones I've seen out there. So all I'm going to do is just take that over there, put that on top. It comes with like this little mesh thing that you so you don't burn the wood entirely. And it's almost like a grill. I mean, you have like these little wood pellet flakes kind of a thing, which it comes into that. And my neighbor's over here taking notes, so she can be fancy like me one day. And you take a pinch or 2 or 5. You put that in there like that. And here comes the coup de grace. I think I said that right. You're going to light it on fire.
You see me pull back? That's it. I don't know. Instinctually, you see I pull back like it's going to burn me. I don't know why.
Yeah. And so if you can watch the glass, it actually billows in the bottom of that glass and just kind of sits.
Oh, yeah. See it. Yeah.
And so the flavor of this, the smoky leaves, whatever they're called, this is a whiskey barrel oak flavor. And you can get all different types of stuff in there. But that's what this one is.
That looks good.
Hey, Brian, is that blue cord I see? Is that your headphones?
Yeah, when I'm outside, I actually I don't use Bluetooth. I just use the actual headphones jack, so it doesn't distort the sound or anything like that.
Gotcha.
So that's what that is. It's not a lifeline. I don't need help. It's not a medical alert. Whatever they call those things. I've fallen and I can't get up.
I can't get I can't get
Uh,
up.
okay, so
You're laughing about that, but my kid has been bugging me to get one, and I'm like, how old do you think I am, child? Give
well,
me a break.
check this out, everybody. I'm going to show you guys this because you know, guys, I am kind of a snob when it comes to my ice cubes. This, in case you can't see it clearly, is a golf ball.
Ball?
Golf ball.
Mhm.
It's a golf ball ice cube.
Mm.
See the dimples
Cool.
on there? See the dimples?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that on here. Oh, there we go. And the last thing that I do I don't like the orange peel. It's a little messy. I hate to use the orange peel just for one thing, and then I leave the orange behind. I don't use it, but you can put a little cherry in the middle. Cherry, cocktail cherry inside. I don't add the juice because the juice makes it a little bit more sweeter than you need to, so I just don't put the juice in there. And that is that, folks. That is old fashioned for tonight. And now I'm going to have my esteemed personal guest over here come taste it and tell me what he thinks.
If you hear a thud, you know it's not good.
Oh, this is
Mm-hmm. I told you, it's fancy. I'm fancy. Sorry. It's strong. Have you had an old fashioned before?
old fashioned person.
Oh my goodness gracious. Give me that thing.
Yeah, she right.
You hear that? You hear that? She goes, "Oh, it's strong. I'm not an old fashioned person. You told me you like old fashions."
No, you said you like old fashioned. I told you
You guys are missing it. You should have saw her face. You should have saw her face. Oh my god.
I like her already, man. Get her a mic. Get her a headset, Brian. I like her already.
You know, you guys have met her. She is my neighbor who was doing ladies' nights with a couple of her friends when we did a couple of podcasts. You guys have met her if you remember back in when I was doing the ladies' night stuff.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I lost you for a second.
Okay. Am I good? Am I good? So she's done some of the ladies' night stuff.
Okay.
So you guys have met her. Anyway, so while I take my drink, which I'm gonna move a little bit so I can get this, I can get in the shadow, and I need to get out of the shadow. No racial jokes. No racial jokes. No racial jokes. Should I just smile the whole time? Anyway, so I have King Corso Mom, I'm reading the chat, says that she tasted smoking leaves. It tastes more like getting wasted. Me drinking, it tastes like I'm getting wasted. Okay. Not sure if I read that right, but okay. So, the Karen story you guys are dying to hear. And I'm glad my neighbor's here because it involves her. So, she has a golf organization that she tries to encourage female golfers to play more golf. She has an organization, and also they give back to children's charities or school charities and all that kind of stuff that benefit organizations that she finds worthy. But anyway, she is also one of the marshals at the golf course. She just started. The marshals were one of the golf courses that I play at. And she had a call from a guest who said that they actually ran out of gas on their golf cart. Can somebody please come and help them get a new cart? That's not a marshal's job, in case you didn't know. That's not a marshal's job. They have little kids, teenagers that work in the barn that take carts out, they bring the carts back in, they do all this kind of stuff. So if you get stranded, they come out and bring you another one. Somehow the mix-up happened and all that kind of stuff. My round is over, and these individuals who broke down decided they weren't going to wait, so they started walking and walking and walking, piggybacking on another cart that they were playing with. No big deal. They found my friend as a marshal and decided to take the brunt of their anger out on her. and the N-word was thrown out.
Oh.
And there were two people that were working at the club at that time, and both of them were black. And these entitled individuals started saying things that I felt were just inappropriate. And the man, the husband of the two, decided that he wanted to be Billy Goat Gruff and be really, really, really aggressive with this female. Now, I know her, so I may have been a little bit more aggressive than I normally would, but I ain't gonna let nobody in my presence talk to a female like they gonna get up on their face like they're Billy Goat Gruff. Just not gonna happen on my watch. Just raised that way. So I got in his face, and he decided this is probably not where I want to go with this. And so he decides to go inside and left his wife still outside.
Oh, no.
And man, she started getting all in my face, and I'm just sitting there going, wait a minute. I don't want to talk about this. I'm going in here. I'm going to talk to your husband because I didn't appreciate the way he was talking to this female, blah, blah, blah. So she gets in my face, and instead of me doing anything like putting my hands on her, I just started walking. And she starts moving backwards. And then I tried to get to the door, and she wouldn't even let me get into the clubhouse at that point. And so it was so funny because everybody at the end of that whole ordeal came up to me and was like, dude, thank you so much for taking care of that. Thank you so much. Karen. And this is going to segue into some of the things that we're talking about, so bear with me on this. But that was, to me, even though it wasn't directly toward me, my first experience with people in a long time flaunting the N-word in my listening vicinity in a derogatory way that I felt was inappropriate, but also in a racist connotation. And when I tell that story and somebody says this, I hope somebody can tell me and maybe give me a different perspective. Could I look at that situation as anything other than being racist? What say you?
I missed the first part, so I'm not sure what started it off.
Well,
All right. Yeah. Go ahead, Rick.
No. On my end, you're cutting in and out a little bit here and there, so I didn't catch that you were posing the question to us.
Yeah. That's what I lost too.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm cutting in, I wanted to ask you guys if someone used the N-word on a golf course to a black person, and then I'm going to go grab something to make the connection better. Would you consider it racist if they said it to a black person, the N-word, directly to them?
Yeah, absolutely. That's my answer right after that. Yeah. I don't know what is he saying specifically on the golf course, or is it just? I'm a little confused. I'm going to ask him when he comes back.
They
I think any time that it's used
Anytime,
in an aggressive, derogatory manner with malice behind it, then there's definite racism there. Bigotry, prejudice. I mean, we can go down the line. So anyways, I did want to say before we get into actually talking about this topic, I kind of wanted to say this up front because I don't want to have to keep saying it on every time I say something. That my comments tonight are based on my opinions and my experiences in my 50 years of life, and they come from a different place than the other people on this panel and the other people in the chat. And I know that I can't speak on something maybe from a perspective of someone else. And I know some people get a little,
caught up in it.
I don't know. Yeah, caught up in that, and you don't understand, and that kind of thing. And I could only speak from my perspective and my experiences. And I think if someone's that at the ready with that word in a situation over a golf cart or a shopping cart or whatever, then there's something going on there. I don't think necessarily using the word or saying the word is racist in and of itself, but it's when it's used in the manner that Brian was speaking about.
Yeah.
There's something going on. That's
I mean, as people, listen, I live in an area just black and Puerto Rican, just black and Spanish. So it's like, it's not weaponized around. I didn't grow up in the environment that people, do they say it? No, it's out of, they're saying it not with the intent to hurt each other. It's like a brotherly thing, and yeah, I know what Brian's talking about. That people use it in an instant because they have nothing else to say out of ignorance, just to hurt that person. Yes, it's happened. Does it make it racism? Nah, damn, I just, I don't know, because he's putting in the golf course and all that.
And I'm listening, by the way.
Um,
But here's my thing, and this is why I kind of use this kind of as a segue to our main topic, which is I know I'm trying to get Witcher Hot to join. Um, and when you can say things, I think sometimes out of anger that you always regret. And when you say these things, you try to sound as hurtful as you possibly can at times. We all are.
Recognize it.
Yeah, we're all guilty of saying things out of anger that we probably regret.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can take those one-offs, two-offs things, and you can say, you know what, they said it out of anger, and they're not a racist person. But sometimes you can sit there and say, when it's not necessarily escalated to that point, when you are escalating it just on your own, and you decide to use that word. Because if there's something that you feel, especially if you're talking to a minority, and you feel as if, someone's not paying attention to you, and you choose to use that word, that to me comes across as being racially motivated rather than anger motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfectly sense. And especially the people that there's repeated behavior. It's the one off, okay? But it's the repeated behavior. Yeah, there's nothing else you can call it if you keep uh, weaponizing it, and not even out of anger, just in a joking way, and in any type of way. Yes, it's racism. It's embedded. It's it's something that their belief or whatever it is. Yeah, it's pure racism to me.
Well, and
When it's you.
to Ladybug's comment, it's how it's delivered. Is it with malice? The intent is not it's not necessarily on it's not the burden of the person saying it. It's how someone is actually receiving it. Because if you just say the N word and I don't know you, even though you think you cool, and you think you're a gangster or you live that lifestyle with a bunch of black people,
You break. I'm sorry.
am I still breaking up? Jesus, mother of Christmas.
But are you good at if you're good in YouTube? It's okay, I guess. Right?
Okay, well, you guys in the chat, let me know if I'm breaking up because my mic sounds really good, and I just changed my. I'm off of Wi-Fi, so I'm putting myself on the hard wire. So hopefully that'll help it as well. Am I a little bit closer to the microphone?
Yeah, it's all my fault, by the way. Just added a little joke in there.
Okay, am I better now?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, let me just change a couple of things just to be sure. But anyway,
Well,
go ahead, Liz.
I've got 15 years on y'all, so I didn't grow up with the N word being used anyway, but racially motivated. Okay, I never heard it used even amongst the black kids that I went to school with in junior high and high school. They didn't use it that way back in the 70s that I ever heard. So to me, it has nothing but negative racial connotations. And do I get mad and say things sometimes I shouldn't? Yeah, but you know what? Those racial slurs, they don't enter my mind even when I'm mad because I find them so abhorrent. And there's more than the N word out there. There's all kinds of racial slurs for Asians and for, Italians and Irish and, all different races for Hispanics, right? You know, they're all bad. I don't like any of them.
Yeah.
I would rather
In
not
general,
hear
though,
any of
I'm sorry, Liz. In general, I think those of us on the panel, don't go to name calling, as a first, second, third resort anyway. It might be a
Right.
last resort to a thing to get somebody's attention or shut them down. Um, there's other prejudice out there. I know we're focusing on the race, but there's a lot of bigotry in other ways. Calling somebody the quote unquote new F word just as a slur or just to trigger somebody.
Right.
I mean, that's not, and then I think that's in the case of what happened at the golf course. It sounds like it was a trigger mechanism. I'm gonna get your attention. I want my card. I didn't exactly understand the story, but they wanted their card or whatever, and I'm gonna get your attention, and I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna take this to this other level now, and I'm gonna get what I want by exuding this authority that I have, and by triggering you, and then maybe you'll respond, and then I can point at you and say, oh, look how they treated me here at their tournament. You know what I mean? And I'm not one that thrives or looks to trigger people. Everybody wants to trigger everybody on a daily
Right.
basis. That's not my, goal when I wake up in the morning. And I don't think that's any of us here. So.
Right.
Let me ask you this, Brian. Okay, you said it was a golf course. Were other people there? So it was kind of a public setting?
Oh yeah.
So when that person, yeah?
Oh yeah.
So see, that's a problem with me. So some people don't care that, people like that they know there are other people around, and maybe they, like Mick said, they just did it just to trigger you to get that cart or whatever. But they really inside they're not racist. It was just a one-off or whatever. No, to me, see, I have a problem with that because self-awareness. There's such a thing as self-awareness, right? So you're in a public setting, and there's other people that are gonna hear you say this. There's more to that to me. So it goes deeper then because I don't know. Yeah, that makes a difference to me. If it's just her and Brian and somebody else, but there's other people around. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. That's all I'm saying. Maybe it's not.
Funny you guys. It's funny you guys are saying that, and I hear what you're saying, but it's hard for me to wrap my head around what when you say things or people are just saying it to trigger. I can say a lot of things to trigger someone. I can say a lot of things to my wife to trigger her. If I'm like really mad or she's saying something that's kind of getting to me, and I'll say something back to trigger her. We all know those. Saying a racial rhetoric, a slur, just not one of those things that comes first to mind for me. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. If you have that at the ready, then there's an issue. There's something going on there because most people don't have that
slur.
Those kind of terms, those slurs. At the ready. You're an F. You're an A. You're this and that. If you have that at the ready in your arsenal, then agreed.
Yeah, I'm not for nothing, but I'm 53 years old, and you know that I never heard the term, and I'm sorry, it's gonna probably offend some people, but I never heard the word porch monkey. So I just heard it a week ago from another YouTuber. Well, I won't mention it's not about him, but I never, that's why I'm telling you, I grew up in a Latin and Black community where the word wasn't used to hurt each other. You know what I mean? Puerto Rican used it, Black people used it. It was something that was just said on a daily basis. But I never saw no people weaponize it. It wasn't used as a weapon. It was a term of endearment. It was you know what I mean? So if, I feel kind of like, am I lost or something? What the hell was that? I had to even Google, and I'm like, what does that come from? You know what I mean? So am I maybe because I've lived in Philadelphia, inner cities, and I haven't ventured off into these backwoods or these little towns that say those terms. I'm like, yeah, it kind of stunned me that that's deep. To me, that's deep embedded type stuff. When you call somebody, yeah, right off the bat, that comes out of that.
Well,
That's the first thing that you think of.
Vic, Vic had a very good perspective when it came to something like that. So I'm gonna let Vic have the floor, if you will, on some of that deep-rooted, old-school kind of racial rhetoric.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's I think that's a lot of what we see is. I mean, again, if you throw out a certain word, in anger or in a just I mean in a derogatory way towards someone. I say it does. It's not good. Like I said, I mean, if you have that at the ready, it's not good. I don't feel that person is necessarily bigoted or racist, but um, it's the deep-seated stuff when you're talking about the slavery, we brought you here, the term that you use that I'm not that familiar with either. That's deep-rooted stuff that's in you, and I think a lot of it comes from a place of some of it comes from experience, because I have heard, well, I've had bad experiences. I mean, we've all had bad experiences, but I think a lot of it comes from a place of ignorance as well, where maybe you didn't grow up around certain people, you didn't see certain things, and it's embedded in you, to hate somebody or dislike somebody because they're different.
But that's something that I want to bring up, and I'm not sure if anybody knows in the chat or on the panel. I know Vic does, but there's a thing called unconscious biasness, and and if you
absolutely,
and you can be prejudiced because you might not like people who have saggy jeans, and you can sit there and go, every time I see somebody with saggy jeans, I think they're uneducated, poor, and are going to rob me. And that could be something that you probably don't think about it, but it's unconscious biasness because you've seen that type of behavior depicted in movies, maybe even heard some people actually talk about it. So that to me is completely, totally different than trying to purposely use a racial epithet to either you're trying to trigger or trying to insult someone. Because if you decide that race or a racist term or racist epithet is going to be your first go-to, to me, that sounds as if you are deeply, or maybe even a racist in disguise, and sometimes it comes to light.
What do you say? When you say, I heard Vic use the word ignorance, right? To me, I would substitute that and say it's hate. I don't think ignorance to me means that you don't know any better, right?
Right.
Some of these people do, yeah. So it's like when you say ignorant, I'm sorry, it's like giving them a pass. Oh, they just don't know any better. You know what I mean? To me, it's a place of hate. Yeah.
But I think some people don't, though, and I think it's because of where they grew up and how they grew up, that they really don't know any better, and they haven't taken the time to, quote unquote, re-educate themselves. And the reason I say that is because I was fortunate enough to grow up in San Francisco, very progressive, minority, the gay community, all that. So it was never unusual for me to see two men holding hands or to see interracial couples or that kind of thing. But people from different parts of the country, even today, it's it's an anomaly. It's like, well, it's like weird. It's like strange. It's like, well, I don't know. That doesn't look right. It's like dangerous to them. And I think they stay in that ignorance. It doesn't excuse the behavior, but I think it just tends to explain a little bit where they're coming from.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
Liz Lizard Breath is saying her elders were racist and gigantic bigots. I chose not to be like them. There's a difference between humor and complete asshole moments. I see, but you know what? It's funny because I kind of agree with Vic, but kind of don't. And I'm gonna let you talk, Liz, in just a second. I'm sorry, but I want to get that comment in. But also, um, in this day and age, because of where we live, and Vic said he grew up in San Francisco, you'd be surprised though how segregated some communities still are. There are some communities out
Sure.
there that still don't have broadband internet. They don't have high speed internet. They don't have access to the things that we all take for granted. So I can see that side of the argument to a certain extent. But when I see people on YouTube like the Savage Days who are totally engrossed on technology, has the means and the things at his fingertips to educate themselves and knows better, to say some of the racist things that he has said, you can't blame ignorance. You can't blame anything but just being racist. And Liz, I know you want to
Well,
have. I don't want Liz to
I'm still,
forget a point.
I'm certainly not defending anything that we've heard here
Oh yeah,
recently.
yeah. I'm
That
not.
one-
You're
that
right.
one- yeah,
I
okay.
get that. Liz, you had something to say. I don't want you to forget what you're about to say.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the point that I started to not want to agree with what Vic was saying, but then I was reminded of my own personal experience. I have some cousins that grew up near me, but not in the same. Um, I grew up in the city. Okay, so it wasn't San Francisco. It wasn't quite as progressive as what Vic experienced, but enough that I was exposed to all other ethnicities and some other cultures. But my cousins grew up on an island that's up here, and it's still pretty rural, even now, 40, 50 years later. And I remember them coming down to visit, and one of my cousins was another girl close to my age. And I remember we were walking to the store one day, her and I, while they were visiting. And a kid was coming up the sidewalk towards us, and he was black. And I didn't give it a single thought. She got scared because she had grown up or was in the process still of growing up in an entirely white community, no other ethnicities, in a rural area, on the Pacific Coast, up here. So, some of what Vic's saying makes some sense.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. It was a really old memory of mine, but it just kind of popped into my head, and I went, "Oh my gosh, I remember that." She made me cross the street. That's how scared she was.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to cross the street. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what are you scared of? He's just another kid. There's nothing to be scared of." But that, she didn't grow up around any black kids or any other ethnicities for that matter.
Right. Look what happened after 9/11.
Right.
Everybody was painted in this the terrorist, whether you were Muslim or not, if you were Middle Eastern. Sikhs with the turbans were some of the most peaceful people I've ever met in my life. There was a big segment up in Sunnyvale because of the tech. Indian people were categorized into that as being terrorists, and it was just, again, I look at it as just people being ignorant and not knowing anybody of of that descent to be able to separate them out and just blanket the whole all those different races, or whatever you want to call them.
Let me play
in together, ethnicities in together.
Let me play a little devil's advocate on that whole situation with Liz, if I may. And I don't know the people involved, but let me ask you this question.
Yep.
if you've never seen a person of color, why would the first inclination of seeing someone who looks different to walk across the street or to switch the side or feel threatened or feel afraid of a person if you've never come across that ethnic group?
I have no idea, Brian. All I can tell you is that she got scared.
So
And
that to me
Fear of
sounds that
fear
sounds
of the unknown.
well, I don't know if it's fear of the unknown. I think that's something that she may not have articulated to you, that she has heard that people of that certain group are bad and they're going to harm you. They're going to rape you. Back in those days, it was either rape or they're going to kidnap you or they're going to, steal from you. That was ingrained, even if you've never seen someone of color. That was what people were being told about Black Americans.
well, I might agree with you on that, except for one thing. Her father was my father's identical twin brother. They were very much alike, and I can't imagine my uncle teaching his children that. But then again, I did not grow up in their household. Okay, I grew up in my father's household. But the thought of my uncle, and he's gone now, so I couldn't even ask him if I wanted to. I certainly never heard him say anything racist, my uncle or my dad. So honestly, I think it was just her nature. She was a timid person. She is when we were children, she was a timid person anyway. Um, there could be some validity in what you're saying, but I tend to doubt it because of knowing my uncle and my dad. Although I will give you this. Their father was born and raised in Arkansas, and he was racist, my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He called anybody that he didn't like their driving. I'm gonna say something I don't like to say. He would call them an Ethiopian son of a bitch if he didn't like their driving.
Mm.
And I remember hearing that as a
Specific?
child.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
that's really specific. Really.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And
Wow.
I grew up hearing that from him. He only said it under those circumstances. If he was driving and somebody torqued him off, it didn't matter what color they were either. He'd still call them that. Right?
Right.
So, he was, again, born and raised in Arkansas.
Mm.
So,
Let me
and
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Let me just take a moment to say hello and make sure everybody in the chat is feeling welcome. Sorry we haven't yet incorporated your comments. We will, and try to get to them as much as we possibly can. Hello, COVIDs. I think we said hello to King Corso Mom. Guys, help me out in the chat, please. Tell me, recognize all the other ones that we're missing. Lizard Breath, join the VIP section if you want. J Anonymous, hello, sir. Ladybug, of course, hello to you.
And
And
Corso.
Kane Corso. Who else is out there? Anybody else that we missing? Anybody else we miss in the chat? Please leave a comment. We'll try to get you in there, and we will try to incorporate more of your stuff into our topics tonight as well. So that's kind of a segue too that I wanted to lead into, because I know I don't want to be specific about this is a white problem, because I knew growing up that I had some relatives as well that don't like black. They don't like white people. I know a lot of people still to this day that will claim that they don't like white people for how they've treated their ancestors or how they've had an altercation or some type of dealing with as well. So this is by no means a show that says that this is a racist problem just only between black people, white people against black people. There's can be racists
Right.
of all colors and ethnic groups.
Yeah. If you allow me, Brian, you know what? Can I share something real quick?
Mhm.
So, from the age of I think it was 12 to till I met my wife. So about 3 or 4 years I lived in Puerto Rico. Did not know there was a racial problem in Puerto Rico within the Puerto Ricans. I was stunned. So you know how Puerto Ricans come in all colors. You know what I mean? I mean, as dark as you can think of, and as light and as white as you can think of. So, um, so there's this specific town in Puerto Rico. They're mostly all black. You know, black Puerto Ricans. So, and I was stunned when my schoolmates were saying these things about these fellow Puerto Ricans. I'm like, what? I couldn't understand it when I was, especially being so young. I'm like, they're Puerto Ricans though. It's like, no, but you know, they were trying to convince me that somehow they were bad. And I'm like, damn, you know what? I've come from the United States. I saw the racism here.
Mhm.
Not so much, you know, like I said, inner cities of Philadelphia. But I think I witnessed more racism in Puerto Rico than living here in Philly. You know what I mean? And still to today, the way they treated those people in that small town was horrendous. It was like, and yeah, I'm still stunned by it that I had to witness that within my own people.
You know
You
what's
know what I mean? It was
but you
yeah.
also know too. There's another element that I want to try to give you a perspective of that you may not be aware of. There's a lot of people out there in the world who don't like Americans.
Oh yeah.
Take Jamaica.
Yeah.
Take Jamaica for instance. You can be black and go to Jamaica, and you would think, oh, these are my fellow brothers, my black people. There are people in Jamaica that if they find out you black and from America, they don't want nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that. Yeah, I've actually heard.
It's like hackers in Microsoft. People hate Microsoft. People hate Americans. They think that we're arrogant. They think that we're,
Yeah.
everywhere we go, they think that we're like the Karens of the world. And all of us are Karens.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. I think there's a lot of infighting amongst, like we were talking about, Puerto Rico. I think there's a lot of that amongst all I don't say all cultures, but a lot of cultures have that. Italians, especially the old school Italians, the northern Italians, and the southern Italian Sicilians. Oh man, it was like a
Really?
whole
Yeah.
different thing, man. I mean, I grew up, my adopted family, my godfather and all them, they were northern Italians, and they just put down the Sicilians. They were close to Africa, so they considered them to be
Yeah.
like black, and they had
Right.
other, and they didn't call them the N word, but they had other words that they called them. They weren't very complimentary, let's say, and yeah, it was a big thing, and how they talked. If you talked the dialect, you talked the real Italian. If you talked the dialect from the South, you were considered to be, poor, and that kind of thing. And
Mhm.
it was a big thing growing up. Yeah.
Yeah, you understood my story.
Oh, for
What I went
sure.
through.
Oh, I mean, I used to see fights at functions all the time because somebody would say something to the Calabrese, and the Calabrese, hey, you're from play, and pretty soon, it's on, because
Yeah.
whatever part of
Wow.
Italy that they were from. I think a lot of that has died out now because we're, kind of generations in. You know what I mean?
Right.
But especially back in those days, it was. I say those days, I mean, in a lot of, 30, 40 years ago. Because my adopted father, he was first generation. He came from Italy when he was 20. So he had that,
Mhm.
kind of,
And Fernando was saying that their dad was like a real Archie Bunker and had something to say about everyone. Just remember something. This is what I like to always remind people. When the slaves were free, it took almost 100 years, or right at 101 years after that, for the Civil Rights Act to be passed that made people get
Yeah.
to be treated. Well, they still want to be treated equal, but it had for them to be recognized as if they were equal citizens under the law. And so then you say that was in what 1952? What was 50? What the Civil Rights Act was passed? What 1950? What 50 something? Okay, don't quote me on that.
No, I think it was the 60s, Brian.
1962. 19 was it 60s?
I think so, but I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I think it was 1962 or 63. So just remember that. So then in the 70s, when Archie Bunker and the Jeffersons and Sanford and Son were coming out, we're just generations removed from bigoted and racist people. So,
Yeah.
and people keep saying that we're in this new generation where all these things have transpired, and that's a long time ago, and slavery was, 200 or 200 years ago, whatever the case may be. You have to understand, we're not that far removed from generations that suffered from bigotry and racist segregation in this country. 1965, yeah. So when I hear people still using that and they say, well, they just appealed the affirmative action thing. So affirmative action was put in place to benefit people because we still live in a society where there are people who don't admit and don't think that people of color belong in the same, educational systems or the same workplace or the same society in which they believe they belong in.
Right.
Yes. And when I was growing up, the neighborhoods in the area where I lived, the city where I lived, could be heavily segregated because my junior high and high school, they actually bussed kids in from other parts of the city
Oh,
in
yeah.
order to integrate, because the neighborhood itself was more heavily one race, mostly white, as opposed to any people of color.
Right.
So they bust in a whole bunch, mostly black kids, but there were others as well, especially some Hispanic. But yeah, and then once they did that, the kids that were getting bussed in, their families didn't like it. So they started moving into the neighborhood, and then the neighborhood became integrated.
Mm-hmm.
So it took time, but it happened.
Right.
But I think Brian's point is that this wasn't that long ago.
No, this was in the 60s and 70s.
Right.
Yeah.
When I was in 70s, when I was in junior high and high school. So yeah, and that's not that long ago. It's not.
Yeah.
So my question now is this? I guess a two-part question. One, when you see the trash like Savage Dave, Vegas Valley, and some of the others that keep rampantly showcasing their bigotry, their hatred toward or intolerance of other individuals and their beliefs and lifestyles and racist rhetoric, do you think that the um, um, social media content creators and or YouTube is doing enough to hold them to the fire?
No, not at all. I don't think so.
Any elaboration on that?
The fact that it's going on at all is unacceptable in my eyes. The fact that it's being said on any channels isn't right. They should be held accountable for it if they're doing it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I walked away. Yeah. No, they're not doing enough. Hell no. When I hear that, now, I gotta be specific. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Savage Day said, well, he had bad experiences with black people growing up, that they stole, that did this and that. So his thinking, this is only part of what he said. This is just something that just stood out to me. That when he sees black people, he thinks of thieves.
Yeah.
That they should get jobs. Now you're talking about a guy that doesn't work and is a thief himself.
Right, right.
It was so
Yeah.
ironic to me. I was like,
Right.
And the fact that he's probably also saw white people who stole and were thieves.
right. So, yeah, I don't. He's a strange one. Yeah. really, really hurt. I was horrified. So I showed it to some of my kids. Um, it was clipped, so he took it down, but it was clipped, and I showed them. And they were like, "These are the people on YouTube. These are your friends. This is your community." I'm like, I was almost embarrassed. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have showed my kids this because, yeah, I know that guy. They asked me, "Do you know that guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know that guy." So, yeah, I don't think YouTube is doing enough. I think it should come down on those people.
I mean, you know that guy, but you've distanced yourself from him even before,
Yeah,
but
I think that, yeah,
especially in light of the recent rhetoric.
exactly. Uh-huh.
Right.
For myself, I mean, I believe people have a right to their opinion, and I believe that they shouldn't be silenced unless it is inciting some sort of real hate and violence towards a group, because we all have the opportunity, to step away from it.
Right. And
That's true.
Nobody's forcing us to watch it. Nobody's forcing us to comment on it. And as long as it's not, inciting any kind of, violence or real hate towards a group, I think it's okay. Now, on the flip side of that, though, I will say this, and maybe this is a controversial take. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I do have more respect for people that will stand behind what they say, no matter how vile it is or how much I disagree with it.
I agree with that. I'm going to elaborate on that.
If you want to be a racist and stand on it.
I agree with
if you
you.
want to be a homophobe, be a homophobe and stand on it. Don't go back and say, "Well, I'm sort of. I didn't really mean that. I got baited." I mean, just stand on what you believe. And I got more respect for you. I'm not going to rock with you. I'm not going to defend you, and I will call you out. But I will have more respect for that.
Just real quick, I want to bring some comments into the play. By the way, I want to say good night to COVIDs. They said they had to go to work early in the morning, so they're saying good night. Thank you for joining, COVIDs. Aaron's View said that she dealt with her school having protests because of integrations in the 90s, and she was just going to the second grade. Yeah, that's a hard thing to deal with a young age, and some of that stuff is ingrained in you because it's a traumatic experience. So, yeah, we're not that far removed. Ken Corso Mom said that the government is racist because of what they did to the Native Americans. I also agree, but that's a different. We could open up a can of worms when we talk about the indigenous people and how the government actually has treated them. To Vic's point, I will also say, I am 100% in agreement. If you're a racist, thank you for letting me know. So I know that I can't be chilling with you on your panel. Thank you for letting me know so that I don't invite you to my panel. And you sit there and you want to talk about all these other different things. I love it when people show me their true colors. Maya Angelou said it the best. When people show you who they are, believe them. And I'll be damned. I believe people a lot more than a lot of other people I think should believe them, because when you show me, Dave, that you're a despicable person, you ain't got to show me twice. I don't have to talk about you. I don't care about you. You're insignificant. Joey, you're a racist person for calling me a spook and then claiming that I called you a spaghetti eater, where that that was a lie. I ain't got to rock with you no more. You just show me who you really are too. Over and over and over again, people show you who they are, and there are people who just refuse to believe it. You get people, and this is why I'm asking if YouTube or if we as content creators are doing enough when we see these people exposing and showing themselves as who they really are. Why are we still inviting them over to panels? Why are we still chopping it up, if you want to use it for lack of a better word, because I wanted to use that today. I don't know why I wanted to use it, but I wanted to use chop it up. Why are you why are you allowing these people a platform over and over and over again? And then they join a panel that you might be on, and then they still sit there and feel as if they are welcomed. Damn that.
Yeah, I agree.
If you want to call this a community, right? Because we all say, "Oh, the drama community, this community, that community." No, I don't want to part of my community. I think it's spreading hate. I got to disagree with Vic on that one. He says as long as it's not spreading hate, yeah, I think that is spreading hate, because then I watched for a couple of days after that, and people stood away from him. But then gradually, people started coming back, and then they were on panel. So that made me think, and I'm not gonna call people out, but it made me think, man, didn't people hear what he said?
Right.
You know, it was disgusting. You know, so yeah, he's already exposed for what he is. I'm not worried about him. What I'm worried about is these people coming back like nothing's happened. Like he hasn't said anything.
That's my point. That's my
just,
point. What are we doing as a community?
It's just to me. It is.
I just want to clarify real quick what I said about the spreading of real hate and the violence. That was about YouTube itself and them banning someone like that.
Right.
I mean, I'm certainly not going to go, and chill and kick back with somebody like that, unless they want to actually have a discussion, like we're having about it, and talk about it. And where is it coming from? What did you mean? And be honest with me. Don't yell at me and tell me you're lying and you don't have the clips and it was all for clicks.
Yeah, I heard that.
You know what I mean? If you want to be honest and have a discussion about it and maybe educate each other, I'm willing to do it. But that's what, when I said that, I meant about YouTube itself taking somebody down.
I'm saying, but does he get a pass on here because it's YouTube? Does he get a pass in real life?
Well,
you know what I mean? If he, I mean, is it because of YouTube he gets a pass and people after 2 or 3 days they start coming back like nothing's happened?
No, absolutely not.
Well,
to me, those people that revisit are saying basically to me, in my opinion, well, we believe in what he said. We just don't say it.
Well, this is. I know you're. I know you're speaking specifics. You're talking about a specific person, and I get it. I agree with you 100%. But I'm going to speak more in generalities. I don't think that anybody who says racist stuff should have a platform in the YouTube community that I belong in. And that's why I kind of took some time off, a couple of days off, because I was trying to digest. Because Vic knows we were going to talk about this either a week or last week before, a week before or last week, and I was kind of hot about it. I was really just because I got hot when Joe was calling me the spook, and then trying to say that I said he was a spaghetti and meatball eater, which nobody in the face of this earth ever says. Dick, I'm just saying it. Don't be stupid. When somebody sits there and calls me a racist, I take offense because I know what I think about racist. That's a racist person. That shit pisses me off. And so I don't give people a platform. I don't want to associate with people who give a person a platform that spits out that racist bullshit. Because at the end of the day, what you're saying is, you know what? If people watch my channel, that's more important than my own values or the value of my friends that I think that are my friends. That's like me coming up here and saying, somebody would come over here and talk and be misogynistic to Lizard Breath or Liz or Witch of Heart on my channel. And then I would go over there and support their channel. Fuck no. If I don't tolerate the shit that over here, I ain't gonna tolerate you saying it on a panel that I'm gonna be on, whether or not if it's my friend of mine or not. I'm just gonna stop going over there.
Yeah. I mean, that's you. You said exactly how I felt about it because that's it's like I said. Yeah, is it he's exposed himself and he showed me a little bit more respect because he's not beating around the bush. Yeah, this is what I am. Okay, all right, that's okay, but it doesn't end there. You see what I'm saying? To me, it hasn't. You know what I mean? So,
well, let me be clear. Let me be clear too. YouTube is not a free speech platform. They have terms of service. They are owned and governed by Google. Okay? Google is the parent company that puts the terms of service and all this other stuff for YouTube. There's a lot of idiots out there that don't even know that. Oh, I'm going to talk to YouTube. YouTube. They are owned and ran by Google. They have terms of service. Terms of service tells you what you can say, what you cannot say. And because of that, that's how they get their advertisers. They don't want to have a platform cater to racist rhetoric when they are trying to get revenue streams coming in by advertising dollars. That's why they are changing their terms of service all the time, because they want to be a
Mhm.
platform that caters to more and more advertisers. And there are a lot of businesses that want to advertise on YouTube to get their product out there and their brand out there.
It-
Well,
is
Go ahead.
Brian speaking?
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm saying Brian's right. This is not YouTube is not no free speech. So when you hit that, I don't know if you ever reported the channel. There's hate speech.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no free speech here. No way. There's such a thing as hate speech here. Then you can report that because why? Because it's against the terms of services. If they have it in that category of things that you can pick, because that channel, what you hear from that channel is some sort of hate speech. Yeah, they have it there because why? Because you're supposed, if you feel it's offensive and it's hateful, you're supposed to hit that and send that to you and let them know. Now, one thing is they're going to do something about it or not. That's a different story.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah.
Two things. Let me interrupt real quick. Sorry, Jake.
Should we welcome Lizzie to the panel?
That's exactly what I was about to say. I was going to say, wait a second. Liz Lizard Breath is on the panel. Thank you for joining. And then also I want to say something to Kane Corso Mom. Thank you for that comment, because we all pride ourselves on that exact comment. Well, we have a group of people that can agree to disagree, and we're still going to be cool. We argue sometimes, even not necessarily argue, but we have differences of opinion on Discord. It's not a drama community on our Discord, but we don't all see eye to eye on a lot of different things. We just share perspective, and we just say, "Oh, okay, moving on." So thank you for recognizing that. Hopefully you feel comfortable. If you are on Discord and you would like to join our Discord channel, reach out to someone if you're already in their Discord, and they'll give you our Discord channel. And we would love to have you, but I appreciate that. But hello, Lizard Breath.
Hello, everyone.
Stop
Who
you,
is it? Liz.
you don't have to use your voice changer around us. We're all friends here.
Oh, wait. Let me get into the robo mode. The time is now 7:52.
Thank you,
There
Siri.
you go.
Hey Google.
Hi, Google. Hi, Google. Hi, Google. Hey, Google.
I want to tell Ken Corso it's all just for show. If you see how we talk to each other and dislike each other behind the scenes, man, it's not like this at all.
Whatever. I hate you all.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Vic, you little brat.
I know. I think I know everybody except Liz. I don't know. I've never been properly introduced to her. I think I've seen her. Obviously, I've seen her in Ham and all that, but I don't think I think I met her one other time. But nice to meet you, Liz.
Hey Angel, how are you? And we've been up on one or two panels, maybe.
Have we? Okay. Yeah. Not memorable. I guess, right? I remember you the last time. I think you were here. On
Yep.
Vines. Yeah. Mhm.
Well,
She's up on Paul's a lot too.
yes, I was gonna say she's on the Discord, the discussion salon.
Yep.
Yes, our Mr. Paul's channel.
I swear, every time I hear a discussion salon, I think it's a hair care a place where you want to get your hair did, your toes done, and your hair did.
I hope he's sleeping. It's almost 4 a.m. there.
Paul actually getting some sleep.
Yeah, he was up on ham bananas for a long time this morning.
Oh
I
yeah.
like Paul. I really do like Paul. I grow up to like him. I think we need him in this community. He's a different type of. I don't know. I think at first obviously I met him at Ham Bananas, but then when I grew to know him, I'm like, man, you know what? He's a down to earth, UK, likes his beer and has a lot of knowledge on history. But yeah, I think he's cool.
So let me bring this back to the topic at hand, because I'm glad Lizard Breath is on, because you had mentioned something in the chat about your ancestors. How did you break the cycle, or was it you that broke the cycle, or someone else broke the cycle for you?
Definitely. My mother still can slip down that road very easily.
Wow.
How did it change for you?
Yeah.
What made it change for you?
You got to remember, I have a grandmother who was in East Oakland, who was one of the worst neighborhoods in the country at the time. I worked in downtown Oakland. It didn't bother me. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, kind of like Vic, so I didn't see people for other than who they were. It didn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny. Let me just be clear, because in case you guys are new to Drinks and Discussions, I say what I want to say. I'm not trying to sugarcoat shit. There are sometimes I get around black people. I don't like these black people. I'm sitting there going like, what the fuck? Y'all gonna try to rob me too? What the fuck? Let me get out of this neighborhood. And you know what? And the same thing applies to white people. I guarantee you go to some neighborhood and you're gonna like, get me out of this fucking damn trailer park. I ain't trying to deal with these fools. We all have that that part of our culture that we just fucking like, fuck, damn, I'm looking the other way. And then it's like crime. I always say this all the time, especially when it's like a mass shooting. I'm like, God damn it, I hope it's not a black person. Damn it. And then I'm like, shit, that's a black person? Damn. I didn't think we did that kind of shit. But I'm kind of tongue in cheek. I'm tongue in cheek when I say those types of things. But you can have those types of hangups even in your own community and not be racist about it. But we all have them. So you can sit there and go, I've met some black people that I just fucking don't want to hang out with. But I also met some black people that were really cool. But they are individuals, not because they are black that they made me angry. It wasn't because they were white that made me angry.
You are breaking up in Discord, but you're not over on the stream.
Oh,
interesting.
Well, maybe that means I'm just talking too much. I think Discord is timing me out. When I have a long, when I bloviate too long, I have to stop. So I'm gonna go and give somebody else a chance.
Okay. No, it's funny. You know what you said though about just certain types of people, certain neighborhoods, and those kind of things. I always used to say if I got to a point that I was in a position that I had to start robbing people, I would get a suit. I mean, the first thing I would do is I would dress up in a suit because that would make me a lot less intimidating, right? And people would be willing to let me approach them and talk to them. Oh, there's a white guy in a suit, and and then I'd rob him, as opposed to some long shorts and a white beater, something like that, because it's a matter of perception. You're walking down the street and you see a group of people coming at you, white, black, Asian, whatever they might be. You're going to be less intimidated or less if they're dressed up and they're acting in a certain way, as opposed to somebody mentioned earlier, sagging pants and backward hats and that kind of stuff, whatever they are. And that's just how it is. That's the unconscious bias of it, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we look at somebody and how they're dressed, how they present themselves, and you may be, completely wrong. I mean, the person in the suit could be the dangerous serial killer, mass shooter, asshole person. The person, dressed the other way that looks like they just came out of, wherever, could be the nicest person you come across. But as just as people, we don't give them that opportunity because of how they look. Maybe because of race, and maybe just because of, the way they dress, the music they're listening to, or any of that kind of stuff.
That reminds me.
Example. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Liz.
A good example of that would be Ted Bundy. Okay, so he was a serial killer at the time that I was of the same age as the young women that he was killing, and I lived in the same city where he started. So the guy looked 100% like any other guy. Those women never had a chance. They never saw it coming. They had no reason to suspect him, but he looked totally like, obnoxious and like he wouldn't hurt a fly.
That's what
yet that man killed so many women.
I used to say that. I used to say that to the women at the bar. They had never had a chance.
Yeah. Well,
Never mind.
yeah,
Never, never mind. Never mind.
I get you. I'm
But
not
but
quite that slow.
but two things I want to mention. Aaron's view said that her dad used to always say he couldn't stand an N word. He's not an N word, but a black man. In our community, there is a time where we actually will call a person, and there's two different N words in the black community. There's the A, which everybody is like, oh yeah, that's my A, that's my A. Hey, what's up, player? What's up? You're part of, we good. Then there's the ER. And if your grandfather or somebody else calls you the ER, that means you are good for nothing, low down. Nobody wants to be around with you. That is exactly the epitome of what white people think it stands for in the black community. You call someone the ER, that means they telling you don't belong around here. You are the lowest of low, dirtiest of dirt. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But to Vic's thing, also, I used to do that too in my community. I used to mow the lawn. I think I may have told the story before on one of our panels. I used to mow the lawn. My wife would say, "Hey, I got the wrong thing. Can you go take this back to Walmart and exchange it for something?" I did it maybe twice right after I mowed the lawn, sweaty. And they would look at me like, "Sir, do you have your receipt?" Yeah. I'm like, no, don't have a receipt. I go after work, or if I'm just sitting up there and I got my polo shirt on and a golf hat on, I go up there. Oh, sure, go ahead. Whatever you need, go ahead. Just bring it back up here, whatever you need. And they'll send me off into the store and bring back whatever it is I need, and they exchange it with no receipt for nothing.
Yep.
Unconscious biasness right there. That's not racist. Yep. That's just unconscious biasness.
Well, I have one. So when I think of hearing the news, oh, did you hear there's another serial killer caught? The first thing I think is a white guy. Is that considered?
Yeah. Of course, it's unconscious bias.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of when you hear the term, even today, you hear the term nurse?
You think of a female.
We think of a woman and a man's a doctor, even though, I mean, the percentages aren't what they used to be, but that's what flight attendants, you can't call them stewardesses anymore, but a flight attendant, you think of a female. I mean, and on the other side of it, when you say, hey man, that guy's in the NBA, I mean, you think of a black guy. Mm-hmm. It's just what it is, and it's just the unconscious bias because it's what we've come to portray as that particular thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the things I learned when I worked for the union is that during negotiations, there was another Puerto Rican gentleman there that showed me the ropes, and he said, "You're gonna have to clean up your act." I'm like, "Clean up your act? What? I'm wearing a shirt." And he's like, "No, you're gonna have to lose the earrings. You're gonna have to shave and put a tie on at all times during negotiations." I'm like, "But why?" And he was like, "Because they're not gonna look at you and take you seriously." Now that basically, well, I'm because of what I'm wearing. And he's like, and he's like, yeah, it's the way of the world. He's like, he would tell me, older gentlemen, like, come on, you gotta learn fast. And one of the things you have to do is you gotta adapt. You gotta, you gotta walk and talk a certain way. And I had a hard time not being myself. You know what I mean? But to keep the job, I had to play this part. You know what I mean? I started to kind of lose myself in this part that I used to play at work. You know what I mean? It was like really difficult. I felt like I had a split personality at times. But I mean, I hated that part of me. I hated that I had to act a certain way to be accepted, to be taken serious.
Let me help. Let me help you for a second, and hopefully that you feel better about that. In public speaking, there's a thing called know your audience. You can go and have a room full of men, and you can tell the dirtiest jokes and think that, hey man, these are my guys, and I'm going to talk about this. You cannot deliver that same message to a group of women in the same fashion. Okay? It is perfectly fine to know your audience when you are making a speech or you are trying to get something out of them or from them.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to it. You're not dumbing it down. You're just you have an objective. And in order for you to meet that objective and to get whatever it is you want out of that, their attention, their support, you have to address them the way they want to be addressed, not the way you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, you sound like that older gentleman. Yeah, that was his thing with me. Yeah.
But it's the same thing with women. You're not taken seriously unless you're wearing heels and the whole nylons in a skirt and a, dress outfit.
Yeah.
Well, now that's changed some though. So when
It
Push up, bro.
Yeah.
Push up, bro. Gotta wear push up, bro.
yeah, Vic. When I started my career at a large aerospace company, which most of you know, of course, which it was, it was all the women had to wear dresses. There was a dress code. The men were in, ties and shirts, and it was that way for several decades. By the time I retired, and we're talking 45 years, everybody came into work in jeans. It was a natural progression. Even the management was still more conservative, but they weren't running around in ties and white shirts and pocket protectors and the way that they had in the previous decades. So some of that in terms of clothing at least had loosened up. In terms of attitudes, I don't know, probably less so.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, some of it had changed.
Don't slut shame me.
I still got,
Yeah.
I still got some clients that I actually have to still dress for.
Yeah.
Really?
I can't walk into a building permit place and be in my jeans and boots. They're not going to take you seriously as a woman.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Listen,
Wow.
I work from home until I have to go on site to a client. And even when I work from home, I'm in shorts, whatever. You guys see me on live streams throughout the day. When I'm like really slow, I join. When I have to go on a Zoom call, I put on a shirt, I put on either a polo, or I'll put on a tie, depending on the client.
Gotta play the part.
You gotta play. Listen, I gotta make sure that they know that they're getting a professional person that is attentive to their needs, and it doesn't bother me one bit.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times in my career I heard, "Man, you don't look like an accountant." Or people would ask me what I do, and I'd say I'm an accountant. Like, you're an accountant? I mean, I'm 6 foot. At that time, I was about 265. I wasn't Saul, but I was a weightlifter. I got tattoos, and
Big looking
I
like
didn't look like an accountant.
Vic looking like a bouncer at Drinks and Discussions than an accountant.
Yeah, exactly. I used to have this guy that would come in, and he was a good kid. He was actually a Muslim, but that's even really part of the story. It became part of the story because he asked me one day. He said, "I have an opportunity to take just to get rid of my mortgage on my rental property and get a loan from a family member. In our religion, they don't believe in interest, and so I can get an interest-free loan. Do you think it's worth it?" But anyway, but he used to say, I want to get a bumper sticker that says, "My accountant can beat up your accountant."
Nah.
And it was funny because I really didn't look like, and people would question it sometimes. They're like, "You sure you know what you're doing?" Because I just didn't look like it. I'd listen to reggae music, burn incense in my office, and I just didn't seem like your typical accountant.
Speaking of which, let's have a conversation on Discord after this because I need to save some money on how to claim my office space. How can I claim my office space under my small business to save some taxes? I need to figure that out. Vic, let me know.
You don't want to.
Hey, Proby. Hello, Proby. Proby is in the chat. Hello.
Hey, Proby.
So, the unconscious biasness is totally, to me, separate from being a racist, to be honest with me. I'm just going to recapping before we move on to something more around this racist stuff, because someone has actually mentioned these types of things to me, and I'm trying to get whether I'm off base on my perspective and get your perspective on this part. Outside of you two being
wait a minute.
go ahead.
Can't unconscious bias lead to racism and prejudice, though?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because unconscious biasness is just like, you don't realize that you actually believe something until it goes it's right in front of your face, and you go, oh my God, I'm clenching my purse because this black man is sitting next to me on this subway.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you an example. So we were talking about Muslims, and we were talking post 9/11, and I remember years ago, but it was after 9/11. I was on an airplane for some reason. I can't remember why. And I sat next to two people of Middle Eastern descent. I'm not sure which country. They spoke Arabic or Farsi or some foreign language that, of course, I didn't understand. And I remember the thought crossing my mind about, of 9/11. I couldn't help it. It was just there, right? Now, did that make me
I wouldn't consider that. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I don't think so. Because I
Did
thought
that make
because
me
I thought it was the same
prejudiced?
thing.
Well,
I don't think so.
for a minute, I was afraid. I'm thinking, what if they're hijackers? Was I thinking that about any white people on the plane? No. So was I guilty of prejudice at that time?
Unconscious.
Maybe.
That's actually a good question.
Unconscious biasness.
No, go ahead.
Unconscious biasness for sure, in my opinion.
Unconscious
You
bias.
think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I don't. Well,
It's something.
I felt guilty,
I mean,
guys. I felt
bad about it.
guilty.
Well, if you
Thinking
felt
about it.
guilty, then yes, it crossed your mind.
Yeah.
right.
It made me feel guilty that I was thinking that way. It did.
You were just observant that you had an unconscious biasness, and that's okay too.
Right.
But you still had an unconscious biasness.
But it didn't make it right because to me it felt like I was being prejudiced.
But unconscious biasness is.
Yeah, but
Go ahead, Angel.
Did you act upon it? Did you call
Oh heck no!
for a steward or a flight attendant and say, "Hey, is there an air marshal on this plane? I want to get off of here."
No.
I mean, right?
No.
So then that's it. It was a fleeting thought, and it
In fact,
what it is.
I will call it.
I actually engaged, had a conversation with both of them, because we were sitting.
Yeah, trying to get into good graces just in case. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I'm on board with you guys. Whatever you guys got going on here, and I'm in.
Humanizing yourself to a possible scenario.
There you go. Yeah.
It was a strange feeling, not something I was used to experiencing or thinking or feeling.
Okay, it's the same as if you pull up at a 7-Eleven or maybe in a neighborhood that you don't know, and there's people hanging around outside, maybe people begging for change. You may feel a little uncomfortable going in there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's an unconscious bias. What are they going to say to me? Are they going to be aggressive panhandlers? What could come of it? Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's just being aware of your surroundings and possibly a bias on what's happening in a situation that maybe you haven't experienced and you're just not comfortable with.
Let's take it from a sexist viewpoint. So, as a woman, and an older woman at that, if I go out late at night to get cigarettes, Vic,
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be smoking, number one. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, here we go. So 11:30 at night, and I go to the nearest convenience store in my neighborhood, which is a pretty safe neighborhood. pretty quiet. And there's a guy that I don't want to say looks sketchy, but just a man in general, younger maybe. I might wait in my car till he's gone just to feel safer to go in
That's not
because I'm a woman
that's
alone.
that's not an unconscious biasness. That's a safety precaution.
That's a safety
Yeah,
concern.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
But again, it feels like a prejudice. Why should I assume that man could be violent?
You're not. You're just saying that you're a vulnerable woman and somebody could overtake you the time of the hour. You put all these scenarios into your thought process. You're not just saying there going, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I see a man out there. You're saying it's 11 o'clock in the almost close to midnight, and you are a lonely woman, older woman. And you see a man who could overpower you. That's a safety precaution. Now, if you said that same scenario at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe there's an unconscious biasness associated with it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, why are you going out at 11:30 at night?
Preach.
Probably doing the same thing every single night.
Preach.
So people know what you're doing.
Preach, get her, Elizabeth, get her.
Because I'm addicted to cigarettes.
Well, then go and buy a carton and mix it up a little bit.
I'm gonna
No,
tell.
can't do that.
The same thing every single night.
Mm.
That's somebody spying on you to figure that crap out.
No,
Are you dressing provocatively while you're out there trying to entice these gentlemen who are hanging
please.
around at the 7-Eleven?
I'm over 60.
That doesn't mean anything, OG.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, it does.
No, it doesn't. Listen,
It doesn't.
there's a lot of people. Look, you better do a YouTube search for women in 60. They be showing some stuff on YouTube, and they over 60.
Oh.
Yeah, well, not this one. Okay, because I don't feel like anybody needs to see that from me. But
There are people with a fetish. There are people with fetishes.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have to be so gosh darn weird.
I think the point is, no, you are exhibiting precaution.
Situational awareness.
Yes.
Exactly, situational awareness. I mean, like I said, I'm a pretty big dude, but I'm not going to go into a bad neighborhood, whatever it might be, in the middle of the night, just wandering around.
Me either. Thank you. No.
Anymore. When I was young, it was kind of a hobby, and it was kind of fun, and let's see what happens, and well, all kinds of things happened. But anyway, it's just not. I mean, it's just not safe. I mean, it's not about being, again, bigoted or racist or what have you. But Lizzie was talking about some pretty rough parts of Oakland. Again, I'm not going to go over there at 2 a.m. and say, it's going to walk around. It's going to be okay.
Well, it's funny because I guarantee you, Angel, me, Vic, all will say the same thing. There's a time in our youth where we would go around sometimes. We would hope something would pop off. We would hope if somebody just opened their mouth, we were ready. We were hoping, praying. Man, I feel in the mood where I just want to punch somebody in the mouth right now. I hope somebody say something to me in this club.
Are you saying you were a hoodlum?
Oh man.
Really?
Listen, I wasn't always Carlton. I wasn't always Carlton.
I'm sure we all put ourselves in pretty bad situations, again, consciously or unconsciously, but we ended up there, And I'll tell you a story about when I was young. I was about 18, and this kind of goes back to the thing of generational and, our parents and all those things. So I'm not even sure now how it is, but back then in San Francisco, there was a Fillmore. One part of the Fillmore was very rich. If you went down the street into the Fillmore, it was the ghetto. It's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd gone down there. I was just walking around. I don't even remember exactly what happened, but it was probably a scenario. Somebody said something, and I said, "Hey, man, I'm just walking around." Well, then you should just keep moving. Well, what if I don't want to keep moving? Anyway, the bottom line of it is it didn't work out well for me. So I'm back at the house in the family room, kicking back, sitting there, trying to relax. I'm pretty beat up. My old man comes home.
Wow.
What happened? What happened to you? Oh man, I got jumped out into Fillmore, and he looks at me and says, "Well, what did I tell you about hanging around in that blank neighborhood?"
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And there you go. I say my adopted family, my dad. I say he would never burn a cross on his front lawn, but hey, man, if there was one going, he might stop by and roast a marshmallow. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And it was just the old,
oh,
it was
shit.
just the old school mentality. And his thing was like, again, what the fuck were you doing down there? You're just looking for trouble, being around, those people.
Right.
And that's just what it was. And and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah. Nothing that a 40 or two won't help. I'm all right." But and that was just how it was.
Well,
For me.
let me get back to something that I don't know if we really went and did a roundtable discussion on, and I want people in the chat, please, to give me your opinions, your perspective. What should we be doing as a community? And I know, and I'm saying this because I hear a lot of this. And Angel, I'm going to use you as an example. Forgive me if I didn't prepare you for this before, but I'm tired of people sitting there and saying, "Well, Angel said the N word to Brian over and over and over and over and over again."
In the case.
He came over and he just kept saying it. So Angel has to be a racist.
Yeah.
So I took Angel, even at the time Angel was saying it, and let me just bloviate for just a few seconds here. I took Angel's at the time he said it with a grain of salt because I thought he was being a representative to a person that I couldn't really believe within hearts of hearts is a racist jackass. And so I thought he was, doing the dirty work for Joey. And then after it was all over and done with, and Angel and I had personal, confidential conversations, I understood why he felt that he had to come at me that way. And why he felt as if that was, the method in which he had to address me at the time. I didn't hear Angel talking to anybody else like that. It was to me. And I sat there and had a conversation with Angel, and I said, all is forgiven. We've both forgave each other for our role and whatever it was. We've moved on, and I have not seen that behavior repeated.
Right.
I could tell you right now, that is not something I normally do. And I will also tell you, Angel, as your friend, that 3 other people on this panel know that I really want to come at you a lot differently than I was going at you. And I talked to them, and they said, it's just not going to be the right decision. Don't do that. Let's just see how it plays out. And I said, okay. I took their advice because I like to have people around me that's going to tell me to not do something stupid. That's who I want around me. I want people to sit there and go, there's no reason to do tit for tat. There's no reason to be on that kind of level with the things. Even if I was going to do it that way, it's just not going to persuade people to believe me over Angel. It just wasn't worth anything. There was no reward. So when I'm telling people, and why I'm saying this right now is because I forgave Angel. Angel forgave me for our parts in this. What are we doing to other people who say, I'm sorry, but then they repeat the same thing over and over and over again?
Yeah.
When you sit there and say, you know what, I know better, I shouldn't have done that, I'm sorry, 30 seconds, 30 minutes, or another panel later, they're doing the exact same thing.
Exactly.
Liz,
It's a change in behavior, not the apology. Apology means nothing if there's no change in behavior.
And wait, hold on 1 second. Wait 1 second. Sorry, Liz. I saw your comment. That's all I'm saying. Liz, I saw your comment. My college words.
My
college
college word. Well, you caught me off guard, dude. I'm sorry. I'd never heard you use the word before.
I've said that 1,001 times. I think somebody's got
You
a.
have not.
I think somebody's got a. I said it on Ham Bananas, and Ham Banana was like, "What does that word mean?" or something.
Mm.
Well, I must have missed it.
Okay, go ahead. Wait, anyways, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that story between us has evolved in such a ridiculous way. That's funny now. And one thing that Brian, if you heard what he says, that we forgave each other, and that's behind the scenes. I will always that conversation will never ever be talked about in public.
Mm-mm.
And but the story has taken another zone. So not only did I say that, I also said something about KKK. That's two different, and I'm kind of proud that I've only had two really bad moments. You know what I mean? Because it was the KKK. It was on Ham Bananas. That me and Brian thing was a whole like 6 months ahead. They just balled it up in one, and they're just they created this new uh, I don't know. They just balled two events into one. So I think it's a good thing because that's telling people basically he's had two bad, really, really bad moments on YouTube. Personally, not to do with the channel, just too personal. Um, um, just behaving badly and not proud of it. And yeah, the repeated behavior. I know what you're talking about. That they apologize, but maybe a day later they'll jump on a panel and kind of feed into the what is it they call it the mob
Rhetoric?
mentality, and they're doing it
Yeah.
all over again. Yeah, I don't forgive that. Not here on YouTube anyway. Not anymore. I used to. I used to be tolerant of it. I'm getting to the point after the Dave thing. I'm not tolerant to it. It gets on my nerves. I don't know what to do about it. I don't have no answers, but yeah, I just get fed up of it. Yeah, of the saying, and the acceptance. The people accepting that. Yeah, maybe I got to get used to it or just move on somehow. But yeah, it still gets on my nerves. Yeah.
But
But
so.
that's where it comes back to. But that's where it comes back to the comparison thing,
Mhm.
right? Where somebody says, "Hey, you said this, this, and this." Well, what about when he said
Yeah.
that? Or what about that guy that used the N word that guy's, what about him? Man, just stand up and take accountability for yourself, you know? Um, yeah,
My thing
Right.
is it repetitive behavior that
right.
happens over and over again.
Mhm.
If it's a repeat pattern, guess what? That says a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
It says a great deal. It's yeah,
Mhm.
but it was. I feel like I'm stuck in this community, right?
You
If
can. You can
if I had
fool.
my choice, people out. But obviously, this is YouTube. I'm just saying in my head, I don't want to be around those people. But unfortunately, I got to run into these people. There's no way around it. It's just one of those things. I would, as much as I try to avoid these people that I despise because of the release. And I have
No,
no
hold
response.
on. Let me just. I'm interrupting you, and I know what people like to say. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm interrupting you, Angel, because I'm going to call flag on the player, because you're here, and guess I'm looking all around. I don't see none of them here. Not a
Well,
single one.
yeah. Yeah,
You
thank God for that.
you 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 choose the people you hang out with, and I'm not saying that's right, wrong, or indifferent. You have more control over the panel and the people that you want and allow around you. And that's when I hear people say Discord is such a bad, it's worse than YouTube. If you allow it, it can be.
Right.
It's true.
If
I tell people the same thing. Yeah.
we don't allow that crap on our Discord. We don't allow it on our live streams. And yeah, I get up. Listen, I get Ham Banana. Thank you for coming over here when your drunk ass tomato beer motherfucker. I go to I go to Ham Banana because I love to just relax and and just kind of let it loose over his channel. He allows me to do that because that's what he does. That's me letting my hair down, for lack of a better term. But there are
Mhm.
times where if you don't want that on your own channel, you are the captain of your ship. You don't have to please everybody. The only person you have to
Yeah.
please is you.
You're right.
What's up, Thumper? I see Thumper 88 in the chat.
Yeah, but I think what Angel's alluding to is that YouTube's kind of unique if you're a channel owner and you're trying to keep the majority of people happy or entertained or whatever your goal is.
Yeah, I get that.
It's not real life, okay? It's not real life, guys. Right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
YouTube.
Yep, I
But
get.
my thing is, it's your
Okay.
channel. Do as you please. If somebody is not working out, they don't have to be up on panel. Don't allow it.
Yeah. See, right now,
And he's done that.
right now, it keeps coming up. The outrage of what and I didn't want to make it about him, but the outrage. Some of my co-hosts and a lot of the chat are looking for my channels to call this person out almost on a daily basis. They want it. You know what I mean? It's like, and if I don't give it to them, well, it's kind of losing the subscribers, or maybe even consider almost losing a co-host or two if I don't. And it's a just cause. We want to expose them to the maximum. But I keep telling them, what are we going to gain? Is there an end game? Is like YouTube going to take notice and there has to be some type of end game. You know what I mean? I want to move forward and past stuff. I don't want to keep dwelling on the same thing over and over. It becomes redundant. It comes to a point that I don't even want to go live sometimes because I know what's going to be spoken. I know what we're going to be talking about. The focus is on that one thing that upsets a lot of the panel members and a lot of the subscribers. And the thinking is, if not us, then who is? Because nobody else is talking about it.
I don't want to make this a panel about let's tell Angel how to run his channel. You're a grown ass man.
Right.
No.
You're a grown ass man,
all
Chief.
the advice.
That's why I unmuted. I was just about to tell him what to do. I'm going to mute myself.
I'm open to suggestions.
Yeah, don't we paused for a second. We kind of got on that, but don't think that, Angel. We're not trying to tell you, man, you're doing the wrong things over there. This is what you need to do. Do whatever you feel is in the interest of what you want to achieve with your channel. Period. Don't let me or anybody else tell you how to run your channel. And if you want to talk about that stuff, talk about it, man. Shit.
No, I'm open to suggestions. Of course, I heard what Liz said and what Vic is saying now.
But I'll say the same thing, man. Don't be disingenuous, and that goes for any channel owner, not just you, not just Brian. It goes for anybody.
Yeah.
Just whatever you put out there that you're gonna be, do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you put up a thing and say, man, who's sick of the drama? I am. And then have a 3-hour stream about drama, then you're bullshit, bro. It's just that simple.
True.
And if you want to say, I'm not about the drama, but you want to, bring up people that are about the drama, talk about the drama, it's just disingenuous. And people who are real motherfuckers aren't going to go there. That's all I'm saying. The guy that I have a lot of respect for, and I don't agree with everything he does, is Ham Banana. He makes no bones about what he's about. If you don't like it, get out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
A guy like Paul's on the other side. He doesn't want drama. And if you're going to come up there and make drama, even in the chat, he's going to tell you, hey, look, I'm not going to do this, and you're going to have to go, or he'll kick you out. So that's my only thing. If shit show, hey, that's in their name, right? Drama Dome, it's in their name. Mm-hmm. And so there's a little bit of everything, but if for anybody, if they go out and they say, I'm not about this, I'm not about that, I'm not doing this, and then you do it, people who are real, are just gonna be like, oh, okay, then I can't really trust what they're doing. That's my only thing. And we've talked about this. It's nothing new. Brian and we've all talked about it. Just be true to what you want to be and who you are. And if people want to be about it, they're about it. And if they don't, they can hit the X and go somewhere else.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be the first one to say it because I'm a tough enough guy to say it. That is one of the reasons why people don't like Vegas Valley, because Joey will sit there and say, "Be respectful of the women. Don't be this. Don't do that." And right as soon as he says that out of his mouth, he's doing the exact thing he's saying not to do. Okay, this is not something that, look, Big Mama, listen, if you're watching, I know we're boring to her. I get it. But people talk about his channel because he's the biggest hypocrite and he has no self-awareness, and he says things that people are like, "Oh, that sounds kind of cool." People used to go to his channel because they were saying he protects women. He doesn't like people being talking disparagingly against women. And sure enough, he's telling women to shut the fuck up, or he's telling women this and doxing women, doxing children, and all this other nonsense. It's just madness, man. You can't tell people. I call it lip service. You can't say one thing, do another, and then have people believe both of them.
Right. Yeah, it's called hypocrisy, right?
Yep.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, the subscribers can see right through that. I tell people all the time. I've talked to other channel owners. Listen, run under a magnifying glass. You can't fool these subscribers, man. You know what I mean? If anything, I want to implement in my channel from the very beginning. I want people to air out their grievances, the ones that are not given that platform. I don't want to block anybody in the chat unless they're like really being really disrespectful. You know, the channels that we do speak of are the ones that are spreading the hate, going out actively looking to start shit with people just to start because we're bored.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I want to, as much as I want to get, I'm stuck. I get it. And eventually, either I'm going to stay or I'm just going to get sick and tired of it. I don't know. Right now, I'm with a group of guys that are all in and they believe in what I believe in. But there's got to be an end game. You know what I mean? I do want to do other things, talk about things. I admire the way Brian does these panels, and we'll be able to express ourselves individually and one by one, and nobody speaking over another. And I want to implement this type of this style of doing panels and stuff. But I just want to try different things. But right now, it's having to defend ourselves all the time, and it becomes a meme show, and we're making fun and we're roasting, and it's our way of fighting back or showing the displeasure for what other people are doing. These aren't innocent people we're talking about. Just keep it funky. These are the worst of the worst. That I won't allow. Even listen, there's these people that are not on YouTube no longer that I've even defended that I don't like. And I've said, leave those people alone. Let's not talk about those people. So, the people that are actively talking about us, of course, we have this machismo, and we're gonna swing back, and this and that. We'll go back and forth, and yeah, do I look forward to battling these people sometimes because they deserve to get made fun of and to get roasted? You're damn right, because I think they're disgusting, and I think they need to be exposed. And it doesn't take, maybe I don't know how long that takes to expose somebody and roast somebody till they lose their channel or whatever. But at least I'm being active. You know what I mean? A lot of people just sitting on their hands not saying anything.
Well, to your credit, I don't know if you're watching the chat. Fernando said that you are one of the one of the few people, even though he never thought it would happen, but you are the few people who came from Vegas Valley that have gained a lot of gained respect for.
No,
that's from Fernando.
Yeah,
and I think that has a lot. That I think a lot of us emulate that same sentiment when it comes to you.
Yeah.
There are things that we still want to see, the maturation process with you as you continue to build your channel, and leave some of the nonsense that I still see behind. But again, that's just my personal opinion. You still do whatever you want to do, and that's it.
And I've told Brian from the beginning, a true friend tells another friend, if you consider a friend the truth. You don't beat around the bush. You don't tell them things to make them feel good and just be patting them on the back. No, I'm open to suggestions. I'm not that. My ego is not that big. I'm still new to YouTube and this new way of interacting with people through a computer, which is very, very different, very foreign to me. I don't think I'm still not used to it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to keep it. I want to be as honest as I can and as genuine as I can. I don't want to fool anybody. I'm not trying to say I'm going to save this community, but I am going to call people out that are doing the wrong thing. That are bringing
Yes,
that.
do it.
Yeah.
Call them
Yeah.
out. Call every one of them out.
Yes.
Yeah. So if it has to take me, whatever, and if I got to surround myself with the right type of people, right now, there's a couple chicks in the armor, but that can be fixed. I'm not. I'm always going to be a fighter. I'm not giving up, so I'm not going anywhere.
Well, but
So
so here's my thing, and I'm gonna try to get us backtrack again. This is not about Angel. This is not Angel. We're gonna try to save Angel's channel because it's a good channel. This is not about Angel. And I want to.
Redemption of Angel.
Right. I want to ask. I want to ask people in the chat. Kane Corso, Little Blow Jojo, NZ Kiwi, everybody in the chat. I want to ask you, what is it? Hey Scott. Good man. Sorry, I'm talking to my neighbor. What would you? What should we be doing about the people who are repeatedly showing that they are disgustingly racist? And if you don't believe that they're racist, I want to hear from you. Do you think that saying someone is a porch monkey, regardless if you had to look it up or not, if you believe that somebody had to go back where they came from, if you believe that they were saying that all the black people are thieves and need to get jobs, I want to know if do you think that that is someone that you think is deserving to be a person in this community where we are promoting their channel, visiting their channel, and being a panelist on their channel?
great question. That's a great question.
I know it's a heavy question, but feel free.
There is a fear of answering that. Understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? A lot of people won't probably express their feelings because this is recorded and this will be seen later on. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you're gonna get a answer probably. Some people want to,
Well,
yeah. Some people want to say, but they just the fear of repercussion because YouTube being what it is, um, they'll get called out at some point and say, "Well, you said this on this day, on this and this and that," because it's just the dynamics of your YouTube. People are sometimes afraid to speak their minds, especially about things like this.
Let's talk about Silly Wabbit because somebody's in the ask. And look, and Silly Wabbit, if you're watching, if you see this again, this is not a condemnation about Silly Wabbit's behavior, but the Drop Dead Fred is saying you call out everybody except for Silly Wabbit's behavior. I don't condone Silly Wabbit's behavior. I think Silly Wabbit may have genuine motives behind some of the things that he does, but I still believe that he doesn't think before he acts a lot of times. And I think that gets him into trouble. I think he speaks first, thinks second.
Yeah. I don't coddle City Rabbit. No, I don't. I talk to him on a daily. City Rabbit, I've known him for a while now since the thing that happened between you and Brian. That's where I met City Rabbit at. So I've known him for a while now. You gotta understand that City Rabbit has been going through to remember a loved one of his in the most despicable way. He's acting out on it. He doesn't think before he speaks. Sometimes he's drinking when he's speaking like that. Repeated behavior sometimes. I'm working on it. I've taken upon myself to stand beside him and just be his friend. If you knew him, I'm not gonna go into this detail. Yeah, no, it's not. His behavior is not acceptable sometimes. You know what I mean? Well, a lot of times, I'm not looking for an excuse to give Rabbit a pass. It's not that. I do call him out, but it's not here. It's not on YouTube. You're not going to get anywhere with City Rabbit by calling him out on YouTube.
Yeah,
You do it behind the scenes.
yeah, absolutely.
So,
I agree with you on that.
and that's what I do. You see what I'm saying? And I'm working on him. I wouldn't even bother if I don't see some good in that person. If I could see that he can correct that behavior. So, and I see it. So, and I could be wrong.
Once again,
it's not just him though. You're not going to get anywhere with most people. By doing it publicly on YouTube,
right?
You know, because everybody wants to keep up that persona and that character. If you really want to get through to somebody and you really want to have a real talk with them, it has to be one-on-one.
One-on-one.
You know, behind the scenes somewhere. Because up here, everybody's going to keep up whatever that persona is that they're, that they're doing.
Hell, there's a lot of people like that part of Silly Rabbit. A lot of people want to see Silly Rabbit fly off the handle. That's the joy. I mean, look, this is not anything negative about Silly Rabbit and your relationship to him. This is, I want to go again, try to get back on track. What do you guys say that we should be doing to, look, I'm going to be specific. To get rid of the Savage Daves and the Joey Amigos, the people who are sitting there being disgustingly misogynistic, racist. And me and Angel, even before Angel started his channel, he said we should have a consortium. We should have people who sit at the table of every channel that's in this community. And, that's hard to do. I get it. But people who are going to sit there and go, hey, we're not allowing this kind of stuff where we want to be less drama. Every channel in every community is going to have drama. But we're not going to allow this racist bullshit to infiltrate our community. We're not going to allow the bigotry and the hateful speech and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to sit there and say YouTube is a free speech community or a free speech platform. It's just not.
Yeah.
Well, I know what my mother would have told me, and that would be to ignore them. Starve them of attention.
That's what I think.
I think that exact 100%. They're irrelevant. And I always tell this, look, if I'm lying, I'm dying. And my name's not Brian. But I'm the first person that always would go, who's that? Who's Joey? Who's Vic? Who's this? Who's that?
Yeah.
I was the first person to introduce that, and if you want to steal it, feel free to steal it. But people who are irrelevant to me, I always say, "Who are y'all talking about? Who's Mike Serrano?
Who is that?" Those egos, man, because that's what they always say.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you get any views, or the only way this is because you're talking about us. If everybody did a united front on just stop talking about them. It would drive them crazy. Would it stop what they were doing? No. But it would stop the shedding light on it. And again, I know that it's easier said for me because I'm not being attacked by people, and I'm not a channel owner, and my picture's not up there, and all those things. But it's when it's just continuing the cycle every day. Every day, did you see what they said? And he said this, and they did that, and it'll just never stop that way, right? Because we all know what happened on certain channels, a couple hours ago, and that's going to be the big topic, and then it's going to be like, oh, they can't stop talking about me, So I think it's just. The opposite of love is not hate; it's just indifference.
Well, and that's why I was kind of wanting to do this panel, because when I see people who are like, "Oh, Dave said these words, let's bring them on panel and talk about it," but they're not talking about it to call him out. They're just trying to talk about it and say why he said it, and then they listen to his backtracking. When then he drops and goes back on his channel and says the exact same disgusting things and racist things that he says. So when I'm asking, and Mr. P is now joining the chat, when people are giving a platform for people to express bigotry, racist rhetoric. I have a problem with you trying to give people, and look, they can have their own channel. I get it. You can do whatever you want on your channel. But I have a problem when you try to, like, either tag me in some of your stories or your videos as if we're friends when you are bringing people who are, in my opinion, racist and trying to associate with me. I have a problem with that. And are we doing enough to disassociate? Because I shouldn't have to do a panel for you to sit there and go, hey, I've got Savage Dave on my panel. Let me tag Drinks and Discussions because Dave said something about Drinks and Discussions. No, I don't want you to tag me on anything that's associated with this dude.
Yeah, get it. Yeah, I don't want it either. Trust me. I think we gotta be proactive, bro. We gotta speak and not be afraid to speak.
Hold on, Angel. Hold on, Angel.
No,
Just hold that thought. Amateur Aquatics and whatever. Hello, Drop Dead Fred. Hello, Late Night Mike. Hello. We got people joining in the chat. Hello, everybody. We're in a discussion. Feel free to keep putting your stuff in the chat. We'll try to address it when we can. But we like to have a panel where we're just focused on the panel's discussions and the perspective that we have on the panel. So we might not be able to get to everybody, but I wanted to at least say hello to people who are in the chat. And if Mr. P, if you're on Discord, if you want to get on and have a little part of this discussion, let me know. I'll move you over into the right section. All right, Angel. Sorry about that, sir.
It's like Drop Dead Fred. Oh man, he goes after City Rabbit, but he's proactive. I don't want him blocked on my channel. You know why? Because what he's saying is that City Rabbit has his fault, and this being YouTube, I want him to see those things. You know what I mean? I want him. I don't want to coddle him in that way and protect him from these people that are only not being mean to him, only calling him out on his behavior. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to Dave, and by the way, I'm gonna try to help City Rabbit as much as I can until I don't see no hope. So and until I don't see any hope, he's gonna be my friend and a brother.
Well, again,
But,
it's not about City. It's not. This is not about City Rabbit. So
yeah,
it's not about City.
I just wanted to end that, but yeah, we have to be more outspoken, and I think a lot of channels are not willing to take that chance to go after these beasts, so to speak. These people that are willing to dox you and call your jobs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. I get that part, man. You don't want to involve yourself in somebody that's gonna. But you start with people like Dave is a product of that channel. If you think about it, anything that Dave does, it goes running to that channel to get protection. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to take the legs off. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm doing as far as that's concerned. There's new subscribers. I tell the guy, there's new subscribers that need to know before they get to that channel or to that channel. This is where you at. We want to tell you. We want to let you know. This is what you're involving yourself.
What is the value of having a racist on somebody's channel? Can somebody explain that?
Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. It's hate.
Controversy and to stir people up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
clicks and views.
Clicks and views.
Well, I don't even think clicks and views. I mean, even racism, yeah, you're gonna get it. But so many clicks and views.
Well, so let me ask you a question, Lizard Breath and Vic and Angel, because you guys are the ones who responded. Controversy and drama, is that no? There's no there's no barriers. There's no things that you will not do for the drama and the sensationalism. If you include racism, is that you saying that there's no moral compass when it comes to channel owners that allow that kind of content, or those creators that promote such racist and divisiveness?
We have responsibilities. Yes, we do. Believe it or not. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna allow it. I'm not gonna allow any type of racism or any homophobia or any. That's up to me. That's what I can do with my channel. Now about the other channels, it has to be spoken. Somebody has to speak up and say, "Oh, yo, you know that channel? It's not clout chasing or hating or or this and that, whatever they want to call it. If you want change, you got to be not afraid and speak on it. If you got to meme him to death, like the girls are doing from Canada, you know what I mean? Whatever it
Well,
takes.
well, we
to-
talked.
to expose it.
We already talked about not the memeing, but we talked about the ignoring. What about the
Oh
ignoring?
well, ignoring. Well,
Let's give Vic and Lizzie
Wait, so,
a
so,
chance
so
here.
you're asking if there's any limitations?
Well, what I'm saying is that if you allow racist rhetoric on your channel,
Yeah.
is there anything that you won't do for clicks and views?
For some people, no.
Okay.
For some people, it's all about the clicks and views, and however they can get somebody in there, whatever they can stir up. They'll even make up things.
Mhm.
And when there is no controversy, they create it to bring more people in because they see when they start doing other things that maybe are more positive and a little bit healthier, the views drop down. And I don't want to start getting into specific channels, but we see it all the time. We see it today.
Right. Right.
But for me personally, of course, there's certain people I don't want to see. I don't want to listen to. I don't want to hear their rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they're on a panel on a channel that maybe I like that person, I'll just click out and not go. I mean, it's come to the point that there's really very few places that I even go and listen to anymore because the direction is going. So I set my boundary. When it gets outside of that, I just don't go.
Right.
And I think for people who are again true to themselves, yeah, they'll set that thing and say, hey, this is where I want my channel to go. If it doesn't grow at the rate that I want, I can make some tweaks, but I'm not gonna go to this point. But I think for a lot of people, or some people, no, there's no real boundary like that.
Yeah, Vic is open and honest with me. He's one of my favorite people that keeps it real and tells me, well, that person, that just, I'm not gonna. But yeah, he keeps it real, and he'll say something like, well, I'll go up. You know what I mean? So I don't want to go into, but he's been so. He keeps me.
Brian will tell you, I was honest with him today, and I said, hey man, if things go in a certain direction tonight, I will just drop off the panel.
Yeah,
100%.
That's
And
exactly what I mean.
it's not a thing against him. It's just because I'm just not going to be associated with certain things. But other people, hey man, the dirtier, the more what the old Enquirer, man, Enquirer wants to know, and you can't, man, just wait till the dirt I got, I mean, hey, if you want to do that, hey,
Well, and can I just make it clear that when Vic said that about drawing that line in the sand, that certain line that he brought up has not been discussed and won't be. So, and I'm not going to elucidate what it is. Everybody can just wonder for themselves. But we all agreed, we're not bringing that subject up. And we haven't.
Yeah.
Hello, Deanna. Deanna's in the chat. Hello. Glad you are joining us. And also, somebody said goodbye. Little blow Jojo said good night. And I apologize on behalf of Flaky Jake for Nightbot for you people in the chat. Liz is the one who created the Nightbot, and she is responsible for.
It hates me. Nightbot hates me. Can you tell us something? Can you do something?
I'm just joking.
I had nothing to do with Nightbot.
I'm joking. She has nothing to do with it. But I like to blame.
I keep telling them to change that. Nightbot was set way back when you were an adversary, and I keep telling them to take that out of there. Man. They're just not. They haven't done it yet.
No.
Fine, help do it.
Let me tell you what. Listen, okay. Let me tell you why I have not removed Nightbot. It's two
Nightbot is
reasons.
entertaining.
One is because I think Liz really kind of likes Nightbot, and then
love
Raider,
Nightbot.
and then Laura
He makes
Raider.
me laugh.
And I'm not sure why Laura Raider's not here tonight, but Laura Raider is also a love-hate with Nightbot, and I just love
Yep.
to see her interacting with him as well. Jay Anonymous
Yep.
actually is a person that kind of has this love-hate with Nightbot, and then Paul also. So Nightbot is kind of got he's got a following of his own when you come over here to Drinks and Discussions.
It's got grudges. Look, it got grudges.
He got grudges.
He's taken on a life of his own.
It really is.
He has.
He still hasn't forgiven me. Yeah, geez.
Even
What else I gotta do?
Kane Corso Bomb is like, oh, I crossed the line. They're like, I didn't know there was a line. I was like, oh, okay. Figuring out how to beat the Nightbot.
Brutal.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of heavy subjects. Okay, I get it, and there's still more discussions to be had. I'd love to have this conversation with Mike on panel as well, because I don't know if if there's a channel trying to be, the Howard Stern of YouTube, and that's what you want to do, and the shock and awe. You got a long way to go, but I'm not sure if that's actually is a good thing either, because again, Vic said this, and I'm the same way. Vic and I kind of cut from the same cloth when it comes to. I don't like people who play both sides of the fence. I like somebody who's going to show me who they are, and what you show me, I'm going to believe you and hold you to that. If you bring people who you want to just kind of figure out who they are, and they're going to be controversial or go against your moral fiber, probably ain't gonna be able to get with you. I ain't gonna be able to hang out with you. I mean, I might say, hey, I like you, and I'm not condemning you as an individual, but YouTube, you have a very limited amount of time to, encapsulate people's attention, and I'm learning that daily, because that's why I put so many shorts out to Vic's acclaim. He loves my shorts. He loves me putting shorts out every 30 seconds. Vic loves it. Yeah.
Yes, more shorts.
More shorts.
I have two complaints about YouTube currently. One, Brian needs to put out more shorts, and I think Mr. P needs to have some longer live streams.
Live streams.
I mean, this idea of cutting out in 36 hours, man, that's just not cutting it.
Long enough. Nope.
Longer live streams from Mr. P and more shorts from Brian.
If you can't smell the sarcasm in that, then I don't know what to tell you. If you can't smell it, taste it, it's thick. It's thick of sarcasm. But anywho, I appreciate you guys talking about these things that are a little heavier in weight. I know it's not easy. And for people whose names that we dropped in the conversation, this is not a condemnation of your channel or who you are. It's our perspective. If you want to go to Vegas Valley, go over there, give them a shout out, and not give them a shout out, but go watch it and see for yourself. If you want to go see Savage Dave, go over there, see what it's about, judge for yourself if that's some content that you want to, participate in. No one is going to sit there and tell you not to go anywhere. But I would like to know what you think when you do go over there. That's kind of what we do here. We want to know, we want to have a drink, and we want to discuss what you feel about it. But I do want to leave some people on a lighter note, because we always do. And Lizard Breath has been quiet for a few minutes here.
Super quiet.
So before I say what I'm going to say, I'm going to put the spotlight on the voice changer in charge and see if there's anything that she would like to discuss before we dwindle down on this live stream.
Life is too short to put up with bullshit. Walk away.
That's good.
Short but impactful.
Yeah.
I feel like
She's right.
I just feel like I got like berated by my high school teacher in a little bit. I like it's like almost like I need to shut down the stream because that was the last word that anybody should be saying right now. I feel like okay, thank you, teacher, appreciate it.
Sorry.
Where did you get that voice changer, by the way? Is that something that we can get on Amazon?
It's only taken 40 plus years to get there, but okay.
Okay.
That's a long layaway.
Oh snap! I love that whole little persona. When I don't know who Liz is supposed to be, but I think she's supposed to be Witch of Heart. Maybe Ladybug too.
I've been every woman that's been around.
Julia, I heard she's. I don't hear.
I've
Julia there, right?
literally had to go up on panels and talk at the same time as other people so we could, mix
my
them out
goodness.
of the bunch.
Wow.
Even that doesn't work sometimes, right? I
Well,
still get called Brian.
I think your voice is unique. I don't think you sound like anybody. I don't know.
Well, let me just say this to Drop Dead Fred. I don't know who this guy is, person is. I don't know who they are. But if you have not seen American History X, you need to go watch it. It is fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
Okay, so okay, we're going to watch it on Drinks and Discussions Discord. If you haven't seen American History X, I will play it tomorrow during the day. Get off YouTube, come to Drinks and Discussions Discord. I will play American History X. It is life-changing movie.
Yeah. Really good.
Okay, I will do that if you will play Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Okay. All right. So let me listen. The reason I put it out there because I want you to know I had it. But the reason I haven't watched it with you is because my neighbor got sick, and he and I sit out front and we put the projector and we watch movies outside with some of our neighbors. That's the movie. That's the movie that we want to see the first time. I know you've already seen it. So I want to watch it with him first, and then I will play it in Discord. That's why I was trying to distract and put the Transformers movie and try to get you to forget all about the Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
The Transformers movie wasn't going to work for that, dude. But now that you've explained it to me, I am happy to wait, and I have patience. So yeah, fine, that's good. I'm on board.
Yeah, I'll watch it with you, Liz.
Good. Thanks, Angel.
Have you seen it already, Angel?
No, not part 3.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I hear people talk bad things about Discord. And by the way, let me just say a shout out to Miss Mandy, because Miss Mandy was the one person who told me that they have a channel that they do movies or something. I don't know if they do it exactly how we do it, but they have a channel where they on their Discord where they watch different things together. And I was like, oh, we can do this. And Deanna, Thumper, Drop Dead Fred, anybody wants to join our general Discord, if you don't come with a lot of negativity and drama and you just want to like watch movies and hang out with us, listen, we're more than happy to have you.
Yeah.
If we know who you are, because I mean, you don't got to show us who you are, but you can't be like Vegas Valley being Drop Dead Fred and being like, "Oh, I'm cool. I'm coming over here and Drinks and Discussions, baby. I'm coming over here, y'all. Coming over. What's happening? What's happening, y'all? I got my drink too. I got my Coke 4540. Hey, and let me tell you where Tupac got shot. Let me tell you where it's at. Where it's at, y'all. Because I'm 52 years old, and I'm going to tell you how cool I am, everybody. Yo. Let's put that Puma on there. That's 3D Puma. That's it. You can't get that. You can't get that in the outlet. You can't get that in the outlet. You got to special order that 3D Puma, yo. I got that special. Hey, I got that special order overseas from the Philippines, man. That Philippines sent that over here. Special delivery, yo. Special delivery. I can go all day.
It was right next to the Gucci. Yeah, Puma. Right next to the Gucci.
But listen, by the way, Mr. P, nobody's trying to tell you to stop doing what you're doing, Chief. Nobody's trying to tell you to stop doing what you're doing. Do what you do. Do what you want to do, man. Just do what you want to do. Anybody gonna call you out over there? If you feel that you're heading in the right direction, do whatever you want to do.
I told him to have fun, man. As long as you're having fun, people have channels to just to hurt people, right? Some people, if you're not having fun, man, dude, I don't know, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
All right. On the lighter note, we went to Lizard Breath. He says, "Stop the tomfoolery." He says, "Stop the tomfoolery." Liz.
Not what I said, but okay.
that was the Cliff Note version.
No, it meaning I can walk away and not have a problem with walking away.
There's a Craig David song called "Walking Away." I'm not going to sing it to you right now because I've been drinking and my larynx is a little closed.
I'm gonna cut you off. Go ahead, OG Liz.
Oh, geez.
Sorry, nobody wants to hear me sing. Nobody wants to hear me sing. Is that what you're saying? Okay, fine. That's fine. I'm going to sing anyway.
Who the heck is Craig David?
You shut your mouth.
I'm gonna have to Google him. Sorry, never heard of him.
He's a UK R&B singer, but he's really big over in the UK. But go ahead. OG, go ahead.
What are you asking for parting words here of wisdom?
Yes, just parting words of like leaving people with levity, and because we were talking about a lot of heavy stuff. Just give something, even if it's something funny, an anecdote or an experience. Just leave us with something that we can just kind of like, hey, this was a good stream. We're leaving on a high note.
A high note. I don't know if this is necessarily high, but I can tell you that wisdom doesn't necessarily come with age. I don't have any wisdom to impart, but what I can say is that I really enjoy the discussions, the camaraderie, talking to each other, interacting with the chat. It's just a really fun time, and I thank everyone for it.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. Angel, you are up on deck, sir.
Stay true to yourself, If anything, I've learned here on YouTube so far is that stand on, like somebody was saying earlier, stand on something and be immovable. Don't sell yourself out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay true to yourself. Yeah.
That's it?
Yep.
Good words.
Okay. All right, Vic, you got to give me a longer speech than these other people did. I mean, God damn it, Vic. God dang.
As always, I want to thank Brian for hosting the panel and for hosting the panel that people can express their feelings and not be talked over, yelled at, told that they're wrong. It's a rare thing out there, and it shouldn't be. So my challenge to everybody tomorrow is.
Uh-oh.
I didn't know we had a homework assignment. Jesus, what the fuck?
Yes, my challenge to everybody tomorrow, and not just you guys, everybody listening, everybody who might hear this later, listening to it on a replay or going to work. Try to make somebody's day a little bit better. Say something good. Say something good and encouraging to somebody. Yes. Even maybe if you want to, maybe even take something that you want to bring down somehow, and say something encouraging to them, and that could make the difference.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to attack people you don't agree with, or think they have certain feelings or ideologies, but it's a little bit harder to say something positive. Maybe that could be the change that they need, and just be the change that you want to see.
Okay, I like that.
I've heard that before. I'm not gonna say where.
How about not even looking down at the ground if you're out and about, but look at people and smile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. I don't know why you're reading my mind, Lizard Breath, but I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to piggyback right on what Vic Ferrari has just said. Were you done, by the way? I'm not trying to overspeak.
Oh yeah, I'm done. You don't want to give me the floor anymore. I could go on all night.
Well, so if those of you who don't know me and hasn't been a part of Drinks and Discussions, when it's time to say goodbye, Megan is always, when she's a co-host, she's always saying, Brian will talk forever when it's time to say goodbye. So I might bloviate a little bit longer than most, but I'm going to piggyback on what everyone has said. Vic Ferrari has said, be the change. Say some things that may change. I want to hear about it. Okay? So we're going to do another, not a live stream because I golf tomorrow night. Maybe a small live stream after I golf tomorrow because I won't be drinking tomorrow. Maybe after I golf tomorrow, I want to know what you've done to make changes in somebody's life. I want to know what you've done to make a difference, to make somebody smile. We do a lot, and we're going to be doing a lot with my company. We were just had this conversation with my employees, and we were talking about how we can actually be more of a champion for local causes. And I want to know what you guys are doing out there. If you're going to sit there and make somebody smile, if it's because you paid for somebody's Slurpee, even if it was free on 7-Eleven, I want to know about what you guys are doing. Let me know how we can share, not strangers, acts of goodness on YouTube channels. I want to hear about, record it if you can. And let's put our own acts of goodness on YouTube stream. Let's see if we can do that. I would love to see that.
I like a challenge.
And then also, I want to know what it is that we can be doing differently, even in our own YouTube community. How could we at Drinks and Discussions, be more, less boring, as Big Mama likes to say. How can we incorporate things that are necessary, not necessarily drama, but things that may be going on in the YouTube streets that we can attack and, just have a cordial discussion without, bringing a whole bunch of nonsense and, rhetoric that we don't need into our channel. I would love you guys to challenge Drinks and Discussions and to push the envelope a little bit as well, without going against our moral compass. So that's what I wanted to end up with. It's just I want us to piggyback on what everybody else has said and just kind of do the right thing and be better people at the end of the day, without inviting the nonsense and catering to people who are just not going to be on the same wavelength or level that we really want to be on in our day-to-day lives. All right.
Thank you, Brian. Food.
Right on, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you. Listen, panel, people in the chat. Of course, we couldn't do it without you.
Of course.
We really appreciate it. Angel is like one of these. Look, Angel is way past the East Coast time, and he stayed up and he allowed us to come over here and have him participate and really be an active participant on the panel. His insight is invaluable, as well as Vic Ferrari and Lizard Breath and Liz. We would love to invite people over to have more of these types of things. And let me explain something to people also. If you think Discord, I've seen some people talking about Discord in the chat. If you think Discord is all about drama, if your friends are, people who can vouch for who you are, and you want to come over to Drinks and Discussions Discord, this is the only way you can get on the live panel. You cannot be on the live panel if we don't know who you are. You don't have to agree with everything we say, but you have to be on our Discord, someone we can trust, that you're not going to porn bomb, you're not going to get all carried away, and all this kind of stuff. But it also gives us the freeness of booting you from the stream, blocking you from Discord, and without any type of hesitation. So I prefer you to be on Discord if you want to be part of the live panel. And I think it would behoove a lot of people to join us on Discord and get your voice out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd like to say also, if there's anybody out there that is listening or has listened that disagrees with anything I said or as a notion about me or something to talk about, please reach out to me through Discord or through email. There's plenty of people that have my email. I'm not that hard to find. I'm in chats. If you just say, hey, I'd like to talk with you, I have no problem with giving you that information, because I would rather have that discussion with someone than them sitting there and having an idea of who they think I am based on something that I said. I'll be as honest with you as I can, and just because I'm saying something on here, doesn't mean I'm right. I mean, maybe I misspoke, or maybe you misunderstood something
Right.
I said, or maybe Angel painted me in a bad light. That happens all the time. No, but seriously, I have a lot of respect for those people too, because it's happened where people have said, reached out to me and said, hey, I heard you said this about me or about something, and it was like, whoa, wait a minute, did I really say that, or was that how it was perceived? And sometimes we say things and we think we're getting it across in a certain way, and people are hearing something different. And I would rather people just be honest and talk to me about it, instead of having this idea about who I am and just sitting back there with that. So, and I think that goes for everybody up here. I think probably feels the same way. We'd rather be talk to directly.
Absolutely.
You disagree with us, and yeah, you could say you think I'm whatever,
And
and we'll talk about it.
I'm gonna leave everybody on a funny note, if I may. And
I
Angel,
was going to say I have a joke.
oh, go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Why did Spider-Man pick his nose?
Ew.
Why did Spider-Man pick his nose? Because the web, hold on, I'm talking it through.
That's what I was thinking.
The web or the metaverse,
boogie, something, booger.
the
Okay,
don't know.
are we through?
Alright.
Can we go on?
yeah, let's go on.
How about
That
to
is
get
nice.
rid of the Green Goblin?
Oh, I was gonna go down the villain. I was gonna go down the villain thing, but I couldn't.
I was thinking green. And there was green.
Yeah. I've been drinking, y'all. Y'all been drinking like Kool-Aid and shit. I've been drinking some hard shit. And hence, I haven't got to the I haven't got to the ham banana level. I haven't got to the ham banana level, but I'm close. I'm close.
Dude, I wake up and ham bananas drunk, man.
I know, right?
I feel like one of us is doing something wrong. I'm not sure though.
By the way, I just got to shout out a person in the chat, Liz B. Journey. Liz B. Journey came from a totally separate community, and she continuously sits there and she will watch the premieres. She's on the chat right now, or in the chat for the live. She has really good stuff. She has some things that pertains to her personally that she still shares on YouTube. She might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I appreciate her coming over here and showing some love. Lisby Journey, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. And then also, Ham Bandana. Let me have a word.
Banana's still here.
Let
Man.
me just tell you, Ham Banana, that I want to say fuck you, because Ham Banana. Listen, everybody knows this. And if you don't understand, I'm sorry you don't understand. But Ham Banana is like my little brother. I have this affinity for this kid. For I don't know why, but I do. I won't speak negative about him. He gets drunk. He gets obnoxious. I get it. But that's my guy on YouTube. He's the guy that I'm just going to go, you know what? Whatever he does, I'm just going to have to say, if you don't like it, fuck it. Move on. I don't make excuses for Ham Banana. He is what he is. That's my guy. But I will tell you this, motherfucker. I'm waiting.
Oh,
I'm waiting on I'm waiting on him to get on Discord so he can join my panel because I'm tired of being the Black Brian on the Ham Banana
What?
Show. Tired of being token. So I'm on strike. I'm on strike from henceforth. Henceforth. You heard it right. Is that a college word too, Liz? Henceforth.
Yep.
Henceforth, I am no longer affiliated with the Ham Banana Show until he comes over to the Drinks and Discussions with his tomato beer drinking motherfucking ass. How about that?
You know he does have his own Discord now, correct?
Yeah, look, he's been on Discord. I've been on his Discord for like 20 years.
Send him an invite.
I didn't even know you had a Discord.
Yours.
I didn't know he had a Discord either.
He's on our
Yeah,
Discord.
he does.
Liz,
Well,
he's
that's the old-
he is on our Discord. Yes, he's on our Discord.
I believe that's the old one.
Mm-mm. 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 I'm on strike for Ham Banana. I'm Rudy. I'm Rudy to Ham Banana right now. I am Rudy to his Ham Banana. Give me a Drinks and Discussions dead Brian with a drink in my hand. I'm just kidding. I want a drink in my hand. I want to be dead Drinks and Discussions with a drink in my hand. I want a
Literally,
cartoon.
the old hand banana that is in our Discord is a dead one. He doesn't use that one.
Really?
I literally just went and checked it to make sure.
Oh, shit.
It's the old one.
Well, I'm on his Discord. He just posted a picture of his daughter on Discord just the other day. So I'm on his Discord. So if he's not on our Discord, that's his problem, not mine, because he's an asshole.
She's so cute. He's just cute.
And Ham Banana is a jackass and a racist because he wants Nick Volt to own a Quickie Mart. How racist is that?
Oh man.
Oh God, here we go. No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. It's
We're
the
gonna have to go around and do the whole positive vibe ending again.
right. What? Hold on. For Fernando said we're gonna have to go around and salt Brian if I'm Rudy. Salt on the snail.
I got one positive ending per night.
Oh snap! Listen, I appreciate you guys. You know, we are YouTube family. I appreciate it, the closeness and the ability that we can come up here and just say what we want, feel comfortable. We don't rehearse this. This is not rehearsed. This is not something we come up here and say, hey, we're going to talk about this, but you say this and you say that. Angel
There goes my line.
Angel is a person that I have, again, starting to continually grow an affinity for. His wife loves, and is probably the only person looking at Drinks and Discussions music. So if there's anything that you want to see, and by the way, Spike owes me. Listen, the LA Spike. Sorry, I told you. Megan always tells me whenever we say goodbye. I get these little things that come up in my brain that says, "Oh, I forgot to talk about this." LA Spike owes me a lip sync because I lip sync to New Edition, and it's got like over 1,200 damn views on my lip sync in the New Edition. People, it might be over 2,000 views. I don't know yet, but LA Spike, you owe me a lip sync challenge because I did that to you, and I'm also going to call out Angel, Newfound Life. I need you to do a lip sync challenge as well. So yes, you're gonna have to do if it's because you look, your wife. Look, you could put Shorty Love on there too. You could do Shorty Love too. You could put a lip sync challenge with you, Shorty Love, or Shorty Love or you. Let's do it.
Yeah. She's always practicing on TikTok, so I just gotta. Well, I got you.
Let the challenges begin in our community. If you want to have some fun and get away from the drama, challenges is where it is. I challenge Angel and Shorty Love and LA Spike. Let's go.
It's on.
All right.
Like Donkey Kong.
All right, Chief. All right. So, last word. Say goodnight, everybody. I'm going to go around the panel. Vic Ferrari, you're at the bottom. Let's go. Vic Ferrari, say goodnight.
What am I supposed to do now?
Just say goodnight.
Say goodnight.
Just say goodnight. Just say goodnight.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. God bless.
Lizard Breath,
Peace and love, man. Peace and love always.
Lizard Breath, say goodnight.
Good night. Now get out.
Liz, Flecky Jake, OG Liz, say goodnight.
Good night. I love y'all.
And Angel Newfound Life, say goodnight, sir.
Thank you to the lizards. Good night. Good night, Vic. Good night, Brian. Thank you for having me up. Good night to the chat.
Panel, stick around. People on the chat, people watching us on YouTube, thank you. You have better things to do. We don't do a lot of the drama. We don't do a lot of the memes, but you sat there, you watched us. We were at least 20 strong the majority of the night. I appreciate you guys. More to come. I promise you Drinks and Discussions are going to do more live shows.
Say goodnight, Brian.
More panelists.
You don't have to go home. You just can't stay.
Good night, everybody. I hope you like the new feel, and I hope you like the new ambiance and Drinks and Discussions. We will be back again soon.